continuing to dominate this lane for as long as it takes.
Yeah, dancing with that, dancing with the Oz, and also dancing with that turtle,
Oh!
and it's a steal.
Oof. Nice steal. Marl gets a kill, and he gets a steal on top of that. Is it his birthday or something?
I don't know, man. Marl is on fire right now. And look at the rotations, man. Umbrella Squad is always so proactive. And unfortunately for Keep Gaming, they don't even get that turtle. So they're not really using the Angela macro presence to really make a lot of plays happen. And they're really not saving their ultimates for the big fight at the turtle. They should be trying to play in a bit more calculated fashion. And for Umbrella Squad, they gotta keep doing what they're doing. Push the tempo and try and burn these ultimates before the big fight so it can't all be stacked in one decisive victory for Keep Gaming.
Well, trusting Castle since day one was and still Umbrella Squad's strategy, and also one of their most important points, the way to Castle to give the Matilda would do that job. Castle actually carries so much damage and carries so much of the initiations and D.
Speaking of initiations, we've already gotten the ult come out of Fang Agor. Guy wins to pull Castle away. Matilda Airlines got to get cancelled early, but Tides decides to go back in. Penalty zone gets cancelled out in the meantime. Thanks to the help of the Motor Coils, and now the Decimate is going to lock it out. Troublemaker secures the kill. Marl does not want to get another kill stolen, is able to get these 2 kills for free.
Marl, man, just going all in right here. The Martyrs pick is coming out super value for Keep Gaming. This is the problem. They're all close range, and for now, the Angela just isn't ahead enough. Look at his burst damage. They're going in.
Wait.
Dived, and now Simba might be in a lot of trouble. Gets pulled back out. He's 2 levels down. They find the kill, and they give it over to Troublemaker. Nicely done by the Umbrella Squad. As Tier 1 falls, Castle does not land the penalty zone. Tides jumps on in to instigate the fight. Brilliance also popped up. Is this an opportunity for CU to make the difference with the Black Dragon Form? Finding in the middle of 3 so far. Petrify not available. Gal already uses it. Doesn't catch anybody with Black Dragon Tail. And now CU must sustain. Tides must buy some time. And Lumu is out of there. Can't do no more with 2 kills secured by the Umbrella Squad.
Marl is a maniac. This guy is just getting in and getting so up to the challenge. Multiple kills for the side of Team Umbrella. Just the last touch for him, for the Marl. And so what made Team Umbrella in command of this match?
Is the speed and the way they can just go in and out of fights very reliably. Keep Gaming are relying on a full-on committed team fight to really win it out. That's why they have all the crowd control, all the bodies in the front, and the carry. But when Umbrella Squad comes in, does damage, and then back away, and then re-engage, Keep Gaming have no idea when to use their ultimates. And eventually they just keep falling down. Looking at the items, they have to see it, and the Malefic were completed for Black March. So even after Troublemaker gets dealt with in the big fight, Black March can still very much carry this game.
Well, I always admire the pick of, I'm not going to say Troublemaker, especially like the player himself, but the Lunox. So Lunox is actually one of those picks that helps you get that turtle, and also the Lord super fast, mills tanky heroes down, even squishy heroes with that Dark Light combo. So I think that at this point, Team Umbrella Squad has nothing to prevent them from finishing the game just with 1 Lord.
Well, the Lord is coming in, but the waves don't really seem to be set up. Seems like Umbrella Squad are content going for just fights and possibly a dive right here. With the Matilda, that's not really that difficult of an issue, but we'll have to see, man. The wave clear coming in from Keep Gaming, no mage damage. Oh, it's going to be an Angela with the healing wave, trying to clear as best as possible.
I mean, it's only the combo form. The sword Castle comes in with a penalty zone flicker. Godyak tries to get back out of there, and the hard card has been Yushiyu trying to disengage. But no, Sword Part Memories doesn't lock him down. The love taps coming in for Lulu saves his life, but it's still going to be Black Marsh who takes him out with 4 members still left. Can they break open this crystal? They decide not to. They're going to go for the safe play. Take out inhibitor by inhibitor as Castle is already initiated. He's got nothing left, and they've been pulled back by the final slash. Simba needs to reset. Tides is in too deep, and God Yang has to run for his life. Umbrella Squad takes the early game and takes the game.
9 minutes?
Might be one of the fastest games we've seen in the wildcard series so far. It came out of nowhere, man. The penalty zone, the awareness from Umbrella Squad to avoid the crowd control and the damage and come back in when it's most suited for them. That was a great performance, great showing. And KBG, they were just unprepared, man. They just got caught completely off guard.
Honestly, I think KBG felt a little awkward playing against the Lunox in the early stages of the game. And I mean, again, the Brilliance was used so early on trying to gank and push out Troublemaker that they weren't able to get their resources back down into the gold. It's stressful. It has to be stressful.
Well, it does have to be stressful because right now we are in an international stage, and right now we are seeing international picks being brought to you from all around the world. Wild picks for a wild card. M5 will witness so great, or like a lot of great teams coming up to it. So I would actually say that the teams that will come here, like the teams, because there's not just one chance for a team to have a second chance, but there's 2 tickets going to the M5. So those wild card tickets, I think they will cause mayhem in the M5 itself.
I think so. In some measure, they're going to be forced to play some meta picks, but I think the irregular picks right here can have a lot of value as well. Let's take a look at the MVP brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. It's your boy Fangor on the Matilda with 100% kill participation. And in that last fight, I thought he was done. He was finally going to get taken out. He just slides out of there. No sweat.
No sweats whatsoever. And honestly, looking at his player cam, he was communicating a lot with his team to see what plays are actually available when they are moving in for these fights. And I think it's great that Umbrella Squad have a lot of confidence in themselves when they have the lead. This is their comfort zone. They're going to initiate. They're going to get something out of you. And once you're out of resources, they clap back.
Well, speaking of value, the most valuable player right now, I think it's well-deserved. Whenever he initiates or disengages, this guy is a genius.
Well, that's why the Matilda pick is just so beneficial right here, particularly against the composition of KBG. The pressure is on them to really find that great initiation and maybe bait out the guiding wind first and then go for a big play. But Fangor knows that. It really seems that he really understands how these fights are going to break out. That's partially due to their wild style. So whenever the fights are beginning, he very adeptly just waits in the background, and every single time a big ultimate like the Final Slash or the Black Dragon form is used, he's just completely ready with the guiding wind, always on the right moment, the worst moment for KBG.
Well, but that's a 100% kill participation, right?
It's 100% kill participation. That's exactly it. Because in these big fights, he's always available to just give in the mobility, the shielding as well. And that's what is being abused by Umbrella Squad. If you look at these fights, it's always the movement here that makes it so difficult. Because the combos are available for KBG, but they can never get Umbrella Squad to be in the right place at the right time for them.
I feel like KBG in these scenarios, right, they know what to do when it comes down to, oh, let's go down for a turtle fight, let's go down towards Lord side. But once things start slipping through their fingers, playing from behind is actually quite difficult because Mobile Legends is a game that's always coming at a fast pace. To stop a snowball would require you to make some significant plays, and that's why I think just the inexperience of playing against the Lunox can be a little difficult because the Brilliance is a good way to play around iframes, and even when you are trying to bait it out, Fangor can be that secondary fallback.
And this is the problem with the draft of KBG as well. They can't really get the right plays at the right time, technically, also due to how things are moving around right here. Because for, like you mentioned, Gideon, it's just too much at the same time, technically. There's just so many ultimates that are flying around, especially in the early game, against a Martis and a Lunox. If they start really snowballing, there's so much immunity, damage reduction, that to really capitalize on a bad play, it's a bit too difficult for KBG to do without maybe doing some mind games to really trap them.
I mean, I feel like the mind games is difficult to play as well, right? Because again, I do agree with you that there has been an overuse of abilities, especially when you start to see the use of the Heart Guard in particular coming in from Lumo. When you are walking up to the turtle, they pop it really early on. They're not holding it as a tool. They want to say, this is what we want to do right now, and it feels like they wear their hearts on their sleeves. They're very transparent.
Well, do you think that, like, at some point it was the Draft's fault for Team KBG to lose?
I think KBG has potential right there, but the communication and the coordination is also a big problem. We saw, like, in the bottom side earlier, there was a big fight where afterwards, I think Simba and CU were trying to go in, Tides as well. They're all very all in, so they went in right there, but God Yang wasn't coming with them. So if they really want to go all in, they have to know, as a whole team, right, when the fight is going to happen, when it's time to back off. Because if they back off not together, one by one, that's also leaving a lot of opportunities for Umbrella Squad to really pick them off one by one. Because if you look at their damage, right, the Brody and the Lunox does have a lot of teamfight presence, but for the most part, it's a lot of burst single target damage.
If that is the case, I mean, the Hardguard should have been the answer. Is this one of those situations where it is a breakdown in communications, or it's just a lack of mechanics?
I think there's a bit of both, right? There's a lack of mechanics. Obviously, knowing the interactions between heroes is going to be a big part of looking for that outplay. But the communication, like I said, could be a lot better. Sometimes the usage of the crowd control from KBG is kind of overlapping as well. And in this kind of composition that where the crowd control is generally the ultimate, you want to be a bit thrifty and a bit more communicative with how you want to use it, right? To ensure that, let's say you force out the guiding win, and then you have options to either pursue or cancel it maybe mid-flight.
But KBG came from break last time, a totally different team. Would they do the same thing again? That's actually a huge question. But if KBG have to change something, would it be more on the draft or the gameplay and the macro skills itself?
I think execution is the more glaring weakness, because the draft, like I said, has potential. On paper, in some stages of this game, it does make sense, but the way they played it just didn't seem to be aligned with how it's supposed to work out. So I feel like an easy solution would be to change the draft to get something that the players are more comfortable with, but that's also not an end-all solution for this problem.
I agree with you. I think, you know, simplifying the draft might actually be a better way of approaching it, especially when you're coming in with Black Marsh winning out his lane, on top of the fact that Castle, despite dying pretty early on, and, you know, hats off to CU, his mechanics are great when it comes down into the laning phase, but after that, Castle was making more impactful plays later down the line.
I also really felt like that KBG weren't really getting a good read, right, on what Umbrella Squad was trying to do. It's partially due to the mobility, but with the Black Dragon form, for instance, we don't see it being used a lot during like a big turtle fight, right? It's used, it's forced out even sometimes before the fights and before a big initiation. So if KBG really want to use this kind of composition, they have to know when is the right time to be using their resources.
Well, KBG at this moment, or like at this time against Team Umbrella Squad, what do you think, or like Umbrella Squad team, who were the silent MVPs for you? Like, okay, we know that Matilda was the MVP, but who was like playing behind the scenes and having the most like effective part?
I feel like it might be Troublemaker, man, with the control in the mid lane. And in the early game, of course, the Martis does a lot of damage, but you have to remember that the Chaos Order from the Lunox, it does percentage max HP damage. So against a Yu Zhong, against an Arlet, that usually we see are a lot tankier, Fredrin as well, with all this regen. That percentage HP damage was part of the reason why Mao was able to get so much success and so many decimations. We've called out this combo, how effective it might be in the early game, but I think they just played along with it really, really well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Troublemaker was able to get out of that laning phase as well as he did, and I think obviously, you know, Fangor being the MVP, obviously making it easy for him, but it doesn't change the fact that the individual plays have costed KBG a lot of more resources than it should. Again, the dodging, using the Brilliance, and then after that, the Darkening to create space, after we did see Tides try to go for a flicker final slash play in the mid lane.
But looking at KBG's team fight participation, the 50 to 50 and also the 0 percentages means that it was solo kills at some moment, so there wasn't like a team effort there.
There's a solo kill by Simba and a solo kill by Suyi as well. So you can see that it's supposed to be a team fight composition, but where is the participation?
Where is the team fight?
They're not really fighting together. You're seeing the Final Slash and the Black Dragon form come out different times instead of getting a big combo. Because keep in mind, we've seen it before, right? A big Final Slash into a Furious Dive Petrify. That could be massive. But in fact, I think Tides was using the Final Slash as a bit more of a pick-off tool instead of a team fight ultimate. So if that's the idea, you want an aggressive roamer with pick-off potential, then I don't think the Arlet is the best pick there. So the fact that they picked it up so early on and used it in a way that isn't as efficient, as maximized, I feel like that could be changed as well in the drafting phase.
Well, KBG team has just came back from their rooms, and the last time they have done the same thing. They lost the first game. It wasn't like the best performance possible, but at the second game, it was a hell of a match. So Umbrella Squad are now, let's say, and that's not the lucky charm, because yesterday I mentioned losing as a lucky charm, but it does get under the skin of Team KBG. Maybe they need that, let's say, first punch to just like get a rebound and come back.
Of course, I do feel like it is one of those situations where they need to download that information. But speaking of some of the players that we mentioned just now, Troublemaker, we played a lot of Gusion in MCC, and now I'm ready to pick it in the wildcard. Again, if they don't want to regret, they should keep on banning it.
And I mean, I think in general, without any proof, this statement can be ignored. But after seeing the Gusion performance, and now seeing his flexibility playing the off-meta picks like the Lunox, I think that's a very valid threat. So for KBG, will they risk going for something that the Gusion can take advantage of? Are they going to respect it? Because in Game 1, doesn't seem to be a big issue for them to let it open.
Well, for Team Lil Gun, I'm going to speak about Team Lil Gun a bit, because in this situation, in this scenario, their lucky charm was losing the first game and then coming back and reverse sweep. But for Team KBG so far, after losing the first game, they also lose the second match. So, do you think that we will see a reverse sweep for the first time for Team KBG, or will it be the same full sweep for the opponents?
I mean, after Umbrella Squad losing out to Lil Gun in the way that they did, I think they would rather not get reverse sweeped again in this tournament at all. They want to finish it 2-0 as cleanly as possible every single time.
I think a clean performance is what a lot of teams are aiming for right here, especially because how volatile the standings are right now, right? The difference between a 3-game series and a clean 2-0 sweep could be massive, considering the end, the statistics at the end of the day. So, I think for now, Umbrella Squad, considering it's the last day, they want to pull out all the stops and bring out all those secret pocket picks and really try and get a massive victory here and make a statement and maybe even set a precedent to try and use as some mind games against their future opponents.
Well, Umbrella Squad should use that momentum to its best. Like, they should just take the advantage of the momentum that they have right now, winning a game in such a short time and getting into the second game should have a lot of favor to them, because they didn't have an issue, I would say, in terms of the draft. They didn't have an issue, of course, in terms of the macro skills and how they moved during the game itself. But anyways, some teams, they don't believe in mercy. And maybe Team Umbrella Squad will not have mercy upon Team KBG and will look for that full sweep in exchange for that reverse sweep they have witnessed during the tournament.
This is the drafting phase, game number 2. KBG has decided to go in towards blue side. Umbrella Squad going to be on the red side. And honestly, considering how the last draft went, I'm pretty surprised with how much that KBG specifically has grown. I mean, the way that they draft, I think it's really smart utilizing these flex picks. I think that the end goal at the end of the day, the idea is definitely there.
I think they also suffer from the lack of experience. We've already mentioned it again and again. But before, we talked about the rotations and the decision making. But now, even in the team fight flexibility, it seems like they know, hey, one guy engages, the rest does damage, there's follow-up, but they can't get creative with it. They can't take turns, for instance, with 2 engage tools and confuse their opponents by switching it up on them.
How many months has it been since they have access to the game? I think it's like what, 3-ish. I can't. Let's round it up to 4 for the sake of numbers, right? 4 months of the game. So I'm guessing that it's difficult for KBG to really express themselves mechanically in the game just yet.
Yeah, but KBG is not as experienced as the international teams or like the international team, because it is like they are new and the region is new. But I can say the same thing about Umbrella Squad, because I haven't seen them on international stage and they don't have like quite good experience. So in terms of experience, I think that both these teams, whether they have a ticket or whether or not, they will definitely gain some experience out of this tournament.
Well, here's a fun fact. Nolan. This is Nolan's 14th ban in the tournament out of 17 games this wildcard. He's currently the highest, followed by 1-1 and Matilda with both 12 bans. So Matilda 1-1 both banned by KBG. They certainly know how to read out the meta. But with all the bans settled right here, are they going to go for something like a Faramis, right? Go for a classic team fight play? It's going to be a Joy instead.
Okay, interesting. Again, KBG, they like to have these flex picks up in the air, right? They don't want to have any preconceived ideas. They do want to kind of respond to how Umbrella Squad is going to play. But at the end of the day, you are on blue side, right? You kind of want to get your power picks for yourself as early as possible and kind of dictate the tempo.
But there's still some good, really good meta picks like Angela and You can, like, the picks can go on, but okay, this time they are the ones who take Arlet at the beginning.
Are they trying to make a statement right here? Like, hey, this is how you do it. They get the Bruno as well, though. That is a solid pick in the gold lane. Against the Joy, though, there is some risk involved. Overall, though, I think they can still get some security tools to really help the Bruno out. Now the Angela is left open by KBG. Angela Bruno is something that some people use. And a Bruno Rafaela is also a good combo that can work here.
Well, is it just me, or the XP Linens has just like exchanged picks, Gideon?
Oh, well, kind of. For now, let's see whether Yutong gets locked in later on for the side of Umbrella Squad. But in the meantime, at least, you know, having the Arla as a way to kind of make sure that you can initiate those fights. And more so, I would feel that disengage is going to be pretty important for them to be able to slow down your opponents while you deal with that Joy in your back lines. We don't know whether or not they're is going to be a focus specifically on the Arla role, but there's a high chance that it's going to be.
That's how we always see it being used, and usually it's an all-in strat. So the fact that there's a Terizla might pose a problem, but I assume that there's going to be catch. I was about to say, considering the Joy being in the picture, the Kaja is a solid pick here. They can really shut down this assassin pick, and even if it doesn't, it allows for Umbrella Squad to really get a good pick. They have Bruno and Arlet burst damage, right? So if they can pull someone even like the Terizla, if they are ahead enough, that can still really really improve their pick-off potential.
Well, there's one question that pops up to my mind when I see a suppression big right now. Because yesterday we have seen with Team Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, Super playing on the Franco, and on the other side was it Clock? I cannot actually remember everything. I'm not that good at photographical memory, but once the suppression hero was picked, and on the other side the team picked something that counters that suppression hero in terms of everyone gets around the suppression hero once he have a catch. So I think that will work perfectly for Terizla, and not just that. If they added one more crowd control, it's gonna be hell for Team Umbrella Squad.
Big engage, technically as a counter engage tool against a pickoff, that is definitely something that Umbrella Squad are thinking about. I thought they might pick up the Angela, but they ban it away, knowing that they might not get a chance to pick it up first. And with their pickoff strategy, the Angela could be a big problem. With the Martis being banned, right, what will they use, especially in the jungle here, to really supplement this pickoff style? The Bruno is great, but in the mid lane and the jungle, you would really love to have something with a bit more kick to ensure that whoever gets Divine Judgmented does get taken out.
If it's up to you, Gideon, which jungler would you choose for Team Umbrella Squad before it comes? Fast.
I mean, I was going to say Martis, but I think KBG might have been a little ahead of the curve on this one. I feel that in this particular situation, you're looking not only for pickup, but you need a way to actually deal with this Joy besides just the suppression, right? Half the time it's not going to happen.
Prediction.
I'm just going to say Gushin right off the bat, just as a first pick after this rip. only because, again, I don't think that KBG might actually go for the counter pick of something along the lines of a Kufra.
It's going to be a Novaria. I'm going to say is Novaria mid, right? Not jungle. So we'll have to see. You never know in the wildcard series. For KBG though, already good. An assassin, a marksman, a good front line. I think utility is what they're lacking. I was talking about the Faramis earlier. That can still work right here, especially against all the pickup potential. Having a Netherrealm to stop someone from getting taken out can be value. But for Umbrella Squad, yeah, the question is what jungler, right? Something with damage. The Fredrin comes to mind as a good in-between. But
Akai maybe?
Roger. Personally, that'd be very interesting to see here. But I mean, they've got the utility, they've got the right answers. It's just how do you kind of maintain that? And I think that KBG is taking a very good approach. They've covered all their bases.
Well, he is a TAA after all, a tactical analyst, Arashi. So he says Faramis, Team KBG just has to listen.
Oh, it's a Lancelot.
Okay.
That is damage. That is mobility that is in line with their style. It was actually banned out by KBG as a final ban in Game 1. Against the Cho, though, an assassin against Cho is quite difficult. And the Netherrealm. I feel like this is going to be reliant on the rotations. right? If Umbrella Squad can out-rotate KBG and get fights on their terms before KBG can really regroup around the penalty zone, around the Netherrealm, they can definitely take this game and run with it.
Well, before we head into the match, I think that I will lean towards Team KBG's draft because I think they have a really good team fight. There's nothing to stop them from just like going in and sleeping into the backlines, having that Faramis. And on the side of Team Umbrella Squad, and they have solo pick off heroes, like they have to take them one by one.
Whether it's 1 by 1, whether it's full 5v5s, at the end of this, let's see, currently at match point, it's going to be the Umbrella Squad on the red side up against KBG on the blue side. Unfortunate there, unfortunate indeed. Looks like we're gonna have to call a tech pause. Luckily, we're not in the middle of the fight or anything important. It's just at the very beginning, the first less than 10 seconds.
Well, now we have a bit more time to talk about the possibilities right here. Great team fight from KBG, but so I think the goal for Umbrella Squad is to avoid said big team fights and to ensure they can really go for those pickoffs. The Arlet pick in a big team fight can be used as a deterrent, right? You pull someone in, and when everyone's scrambling to save their guy, the Final Slash can really stop everyone long enough to really go for it. With a Novaria Lancelot, it's a good mix of magical and physical damage. It's good burst, but it still requires items. So I think mid-game is where Umbrella Squad really wants to take off. For KBG, there's a chance they can try to do some things earlier, because with the limited amount of damage coming in from the Novaria, from the Lancelot, right, the burst nature, not spammable like the other mages or jungle picks, it means that the Faramis Netherrealm can have so much more value, especially around the first turtle fight.
Well, at a certain point, I think that Arlet can be used not to just like take someone in the middle of his own team, but at some times, and I've actually seen that happen quite a lot, having someone out, swept out of the team fight because they are effective. Say, for example, you don't want a carry to be inside the team fight because she has a really good output and she has a really huge damage to deal, especially because it's a true damage. Of course, no one can stop against the true damage. So sometimes they just want to sweep carry away to keep it away from the team fight, even if they had to sacrifice with that Arlet.
Boys, you make some really good points here. In the early stages of this game, it's going to be really important for Umbrella Squad to really sit and protect their laners as much as they can until they hit that mid game. Keybest Gaming, on the other hand, if they want to start getting aggressive, they're going to need to hit their level 4s too. But in the meantime, these level 1s, it's all about the information.
Looking at the battle spells as well, you can see the Purifies for Lumu on the Faramis. That's definitely the way to go. In the mid lane, it's going to be dangerous, especially against this Kaja right here.
Wait,
if he gets...
Is that a Kaja with the blue buff? That was a Kaja with the blue buff, right?
Oh, he stole it. Angor actually gets the pick off. It seems like he's very adept on that Kaja, which is dangerous, right? Because the suppression, that is a very dangerous tool, especially against the Faramis. If Lumu oversteps, he can get picked off, and no Netherrealm for his team can mean a fatal mistake.
Did he really take that risk? Did Simba take that high risk to lose his own buffs in the early game? Losing a buff to Akaja, that should like take a lot of work.
It does, but now Marl is getting right on top of Tides. No way to get out. Angor slows him down, and now Lumu is on the run. Simba can only do so much, but he's not level 4, so no access to the electrifying beats.
He got under the skin of Faramis. He actually used that Purify so fast.
He used it very early, just in case something gets thrown out at him. But the early game damage potential, I think Keybest Gaming were just really underestimating it. Tides on the Cho, you're very mobile, very survivable as well with the shielding and the Jeet Kune Dos, but you can't just walk up like that against an assassin and against a Novaria who has deceptively high damage in the beginning of the game due to the nature of the spells, right? The farther you go on the Astral Recall, the harder that Astral Sphere hits.
Well, I think that they need to work on that Bruno back because Bruno at a certain point is a snowball himself. So whenever, and he already he have a bow. So anyways, Bruno, I always expect to see some turret pushing, see some services being given to him, and a lot of resources. But maybe one of them is the team fight.
Yep, Final Slash is already going to find 2. Simba is completely outside of that turtle pit. Castle able to pick out. Oh wait, he flickers back in to try once more with Final Slash again, and manages to even get out the Netherrealm. Simba still gets to live. Troublemaker unable to connect with the flame shot. Now suppressed. Vanguard has done a great job. up Tides as a meal for his boy Marl.
I was about to say no casualties so far, it's just a turtle, but there's a kill.
There's definitely a kill right there. And for Umbrella Squad, right now,
Wow.
you have to be a bit more concerned with how they can actually find these pickouts, man. They keep going in and they're abusing the castle early hour damage. And for Keepers Gaming, because they can't really deal with this right now, they have a lot of mobility, and it seems like from the emblems, that is what they're trying to center on. But the damage and the penetration coming in from both Marl and Troublemaker with the Assassin emblem, that is what they are abusing. And maybe Keepers Gaming can try and go for multiple members in the team fights to ensure that one guy can get picked off, but the rest can still pull the fight back.
Well, protecting the king while the king is Bruno himself, I would say that Team Umbrella Squad are doing really good. And oh, what is that? Simba! Simba just went in the jungle, but he didn't get that blue buff. That was crazy.
It was insane, man. I think Simba can definitely go for even more right here, depending on the situation. But man, I think Simba is just really limited by all the crowd control available, and of course by the threat of that Divine Judgment. If Angor can get a big pick right here, that could be the end of the whole early game for Keepers Gaming.
Yeah, just steal it.
Dude, these kills are really starting to pile on for the side of the Umbrella Squad. But for as long as they do this, Godyang is now in a lot of trouble.
Looking for Brody?
I mean, they might try. He flickers out super early to do so. He gets hit by the skill shot, and now Marl has a wave to work with, even predicting it. Farman saves the life of Godyang, and Marl so little left. Gets a good kick coming in from Tides, and Fangor on the run. This should be a kill coming in for Simba or Lumu. Either or will be great. But they're going to use the electrifying beats to secure it anyways. Black Marsh.
Everyone's just saying,
oh,
0 HP. What's that?
He's flickering in hard. He's flickering in fast. No point scrounging away these kills.
Just back and forth fights again and again. What is going on right here? Umbrella Squad is getting the better of the situation, because Fangor is just taking away so much attention. Once Castle arrives right there, it's almost like game over, right? There's no damage left to try and output, to try and take out an Arlet with the Brave Smite. For Umbrella Squad, that's a great move, and now they have full control over the turtle, and despite the best efforts of Keepers Gaming, it's going to be so difficult for them to even get vision to try and contest.
I think that Bruno is getting so, like, really amazing footwork there. He's just getting turrets, he's getting minions, he's getting jungle, he's getting everything he ever wanted, and Team Umbrella Squad might just take that turtle fight.
Yes, they've already got the way of the dragon. They've kicked him far, but now it's 2 versus 4. The final slash seems good, but Castle, he keeps on going in. He's holding them all single-handedly as the turtle is already gone. Simba finally takes out Castle, but this opens up an opportunity. Marl finds Godyang despite everything that has happened.
That's a crazy 1-for-1 despite everything. It's still the gold that are taken out though for Keepers Gaming. Godyang getting taken out means a delay in their mid to late game potential. For now, Umbrella Squad are trying to siege, but they're unable to get a lot of these turrets. That's why they're going for all these dives.
What?
They find the way of the dragon almost immediately, but they're not really able to capitalize on Marl. Is purposely just taking the damage. The Thorn rolls, it does hurt, but Tides still alive. Do they have the flame shot? No, they do not have the flame shot, and that's going to be mid-tier 1 collapsing.
Yeah, it was mid-tier 1 collapsing, and everything is collapsing for the side of Team KBG. But not that kill. Seems like that kill wasn't collapsing.
Yep, it wasn't collapsing. It's kind of ironic to see Troublemaker in a situation where he's not getting as many kills as you would like him to see, but at the very least, he's finally gotten a death. It's important to find these kills in these situations because especially for Keepers Gaming, they need to start scaling up, and they need to start scaling up fast.
I think Troublemaker is just showing great flexibility. Look at Castle, man, just baiting things out. Fangor's coming in, but it's 2v4.
All right.
Finds the way of the dragon once again. Penalty zone to try and disengage the Netherrealm. It seems good, but at the end of the day, it's still Castle who ends up dying. The Astro Echoes is going to open things up. They jump straight into the back line. Godyang finds one. The second to fall. That's a double. Does he make it a triple? As CU flickers on out of there. Marl's not going to let him go so
going
easily. But Fangor just making sure nobody else gets to interrupt, holding away from Marl. Just in case. What a perfect execution coming in from Marl. Simba trying to find a trade. Doesn't even get it with the electrifying beats.
Marl! What a magnificent, incredible gameplay!
It's insane. Marl just lifting his team up 7-0 and 1, and he's not done just yet. He's going to the solo, the turtle even. It's only 8 minutes in, but there's so much action going on, and I must say, it really benefits Umbrella Squad with their aggressive early game composition. Despite having Simba, a great assassin, on the Joy, Keybest Gaming, they're just struggling to really find the backline targets. They can't get past the Fangor and Castle, the frontliners of Umbrella Squad.
Yeah, for me, Marl, man. Marl. He was born to be assassin. He was meant to be assassin.
He wants it, and he wants it bad. Oh, the final slash doesn't get tight, but it doesn't matter. They still are able to pick him up at the end of the day. Lightning Truncheon already purchased by Troublemaker. That's going to give him some important damage here. As you can see, the temp HP, 90% of it instantly gone.
Yeah, Team KBG at this point are panicking by the hands of Team Umbrella. There's no mercy.
That's the last thing they have to try and do right here. They have to try and calm down and try and find an opportunity. But here's an M-Series fact here, Yasu.
An M-Series fact, 1 and done. Before Umbrella Squads, okay, a 1 victory versus KBG. The last time game in the M-Series itself ended under 8 minutes was Blacklist, won against MVG in M3 with 9.55. So it was so near, we were about to hit a record there.
Almost 3 seconds off, but let's see how this next couple of seconds are going to actually go, because Umbrella Squad, 6K lead, and they're taking every single one of these outer turrets for free, and it looks like they might even threaten an inhibitor here, unless they have something
penalty zone for minions?
I mean, okay, it's not like they have an important objective to fight over other than lure in like 25 seconds.
Well, if you want to do it, you can do it. You are the player, right?
Yep, fair enough. But so far, it has been quite a struggle, and now we see Simba once again. Electrifying Beats to try and secure final slash. He knows he's got no more dashes, no more beats to play. An easy pickup for the Umbrella Squad, but it's not over yet. Mara, whoa! Nicely done with the Thorn Rose, dodging literally everything coming in for the side of Keybest Gaming.
It wasn't just about that final slash, it was about that final touch from Troublemaker coming from far behind with a sniper. Flame Shot managed to just take the life of Simba. Whoa, what was that?
The flicker kick coming in, and they've already tried their best times after everything he's done. Was able to finally set up a kill and get Castle. Marl might be the next to fall. God Yang finally has enough damage after the prolific roar purchase, and even going into the Winds of Nature, allowing Simba to jump into that back line. Troublemaker very, very low. Luckily, using his ult to confirm his suspicions about where everybody else was.
That's a very big blunder coming in from Umbrella Squad, getting the shutdown and giving it to God Yang of all people. Not the ideal result of a base attack, but now with the Lord coming in, they can try and make something happen. But this is the problem when you have a Kaja. For the most part, your approach is very one-dimensional. You're going to wait for the Lord to get close. You're going to wait for Keybest Gaming to be forced to try and walk up and defend against this Lord, and they're going to go for a pickoff. That's generally how it's going to go. And with the Novaria, they can definitely do a lot of damage. If you look at the items, only a Lightning Truncheon though. He might be going for a glowing one next, knowing that there's a big issue in them trying to secure the kills onto CU and Tides.
Yeah, Bruno so far, wow, I was just about to talk about the damage.
Flicker final slash all towards CU to push him away. Black March is going to be able to pick up that kill at the same time. Good, perfect execution here. There should be an inhibitor take for the side of the Umbrella Squad. I don't see a lot of answers for Keybest Gaming to maintain against this type of pressure.
Finish?
It could be a finish. The Lord is cracking down on the inhibitor from the bottom side, and now they slowly move up. Top inhibitor is next to fall. Tides looking for an opportunity, but Marl isn't going to give it to him just yet. I think the Umbrella Squad should start backing off soon, but Castle has something else to say. He gets kicked away, canceling his final slash, almost connecting onto 4. Good Astral Recall coming in from Troublemaker, and now Castle all by himself. No disengage, forced to go back in again. He finally gets the final slash out to God Yang. Winds of Nature is going to keep him alive, but it's too late. The Black March is here.
Oh my god, man. Oh my god, what was that damage? I'm telling you since the beginning. Watch that Bruno, watch that footwork. He's just working out through the whole game, getting so fed.
Only one member down though for Keybest Gaming. Is a 3v4, but Umbrella Squad, they're not backing up. Fangor might be looking for another pickoff. And Black March's damage, man, that is insane. Especially against Lumu. 2 hits, I think, took him down below half HP. Fortunately for Keybest Gaming, they're able to stave off the aggression, and they're gonna live to fight another time. At 30 minutes though, Umbrella Squad, now they're kind of feeling the heat. The late game ain't bad, man, with a Bruno and a Novaria, but the Arlet and the Lancelot does fall off a bit, and the Netherrealm becomes even more important the longer the game goes on.
I see a conceal there. What are they planning to do? Not quite much, just changing position, right? Yeah, I think it was just changing a position. You don't want to flex their, like, you know, legs and stuff.
You know, they got to stretch it out a little bit. Their base will eventually, they're going to have to base eventually. They've got no inhibitor tyrants, 3 pushing waves. I feel like Umbrella Squad, they've basically got the nuts at this point, right? It's very difficult to lose from this position.
No mercy whatsoever.
Well, they can have the intel advantage, they can have the pick-up advantage as well. Keybest Gaming, they just have to get the right person, right? If they trade 1-for-1 with the Netherrealm as well, they need to get towards the backline, towards Black Marsh maybe.
Ooh.
Oh, they pull CU, but now here comes the Fibers to protect everybody. Jumping on in with the penalty zone, catches them all. Marl's able to take out CU, but Black March had to go as a trade, a 1-for-1 trade. Not very worth it. Not very worth it for the Umbrella Squad, but now evens up with the help of a Lord take.
An enhanced Lord there was brought to you by Korea and will be brought to you by Umbrella Squad in the mid lane, and they might just finish what they started because Umbrella Squad so far has been in charge of every single movement in the game.
But there's a bit of a weakness here that is spotted, man. Keybest Gaming, the fact that they're able to get Black March in that fight, it's great for them, gold swing wise. It's also good for them in planning out their next fight.
Oh, Simba!
Oof, Simba almost gets taken out. But if they can trade him for Black March perhaps in a fight, they can win.
Oh, Tides just couldn't get the angle of the way of the dragon. He knew it, so he didn't even bother clicking it. He's holding on to his ult, but he gets pulled back with the final slashing castle. So unrelenting CU now have to disengage the rest of his team, but the same problem occurs. He has no means of escape. Marl is going to take him out first, but now with the Lord at their base, with Lord empowered minions marching right up to their front door. KBG is hoping that Umbrella Squad make a mistake.
They are just holding them inside that base behind that crystal. Team KBG have nothing to do but to defense.
Vanguard flickers and finds the divine judgment into the first execution, into the final slash, and Black March gets the free hit for days. KBG is going to be dropping this. Umbrella Squad take the game 2-0.
An insane conclusion right there. A pick-off for the ages from Fangor, man. Getting the Faramis, the Purify doesn't matter, and with the burst damage supplemented by his team, the game plan was solid, the execution was solid for a while. Problems were happening, but in the end, the Umbrella Squad has defeated KBG.
Yeah, it seems after all, losing the first game for Team KBG wasn't a lucky charm at all. It was just, let's say, a pattern that Team KBG won. Maybe if they won the first game, they will take it to a full sweep. Who knows, maybe even like start a game and then reverse sweep like Team no, I'm not gonna say Umbrella Squad because Umbrella Squad already has proven me wrong before I continue the sentence. Now they have won the first game and the second game in a row.
Absolutely, really good stuff coming in from the Umbrella Squad. I love seeing them confident. I love seeing them so sporadic with the way that they play. And more importantly, the fact that we're getting so much love on this Arlet makes me so happy.
You're a big fan of the Arlet?
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of the Arlet.
I think it's a great pick that kind of forces teams to be aggressive. And if you know me, you know I like these games with a lot of fights, and the Arlet really makes it all happen in the wildcard series right here. So I'm very happy that he is here as well.
Yeah, actually, we're all happy to see teams evolve and see teams play better and dare to themselves to be better than great, because that's what it takes to go on the international stage, and that's what it would need to be happening, because the teams that will get out of here will face a harder challenge. Let's say a ridiculously hard challenge, because the M5 at the Philippines will not be like here. It will be like hell for whoever comes from here. So they are not. You remember that quote that when you are young and they say when you pass high school, life will get easier. I don't think if you pass wildcard, life will be easier. It will be harder.
I think it'll be a lot harder, man. You're going up against teams that are a lot more polished, where the game, where the name of the game is no longer just to make plays. It's also to try and make your opponents make mistakes. That's where the highest level is, right? When you have, when teams are so good, they can make sure that their opponents have no choice but to make a mistake. That's the A game that we're looking at in the Philippines. So teams right now, they're doing great, but they have to remember that their end target isn't here. Their end target lies even further away, and they have to keep their eyes on the prize.
I'm glad I'm just doing the play-by-play because I don't want to have to be hyperly critical about these wildcard teams, because then we can start highlighting some of these big playmakers, these MVPs. Let's give it up for you, but coming in from the Umbrella Squad, once again, Marl, well done. Absolutely crushing it in both of these games.
Most valuable player indeed in this game.
A bit of a hybrid Lancelot build he did. He has a 0% kill participation, dude. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's nasty with it.
What?
Those look, they're not
kills. So many kills, it just broke the stats.
No, there's a reason why his ult is, it's literally in the name. It's a perfect execution, not a perfect kill. That's why it's not a participation award here. He doesn't need none of that.
Even went with the full all-in damage build right here, even with the killing spree in the end. Usually you would go for a bit of a different emblem for a bit more utility, etc. But with this hybrid build, he was just confident enough, he was going in again and again. So let's take a look at some of the highlights from Grab right here, where in the early game he was able to use that damage very efficiently, and he's landing his spells despite all the mobility, particularly from Tide here, trying to outplay him. And his diving in and out under the turret is part of why it's so difficult for KBG to really regain their footing in the game, right? They're looking for a safe zone, but nowhere is safe when Marl just keeps going at you.
Well, there's no safe place for Team KBG, to be honest, because the first game was almost a dominant game for Team Umbrella Squad, and then when you hit to the second game, again, it is a dominant game.
How do you prepare for something this, well, I don't want to say wild, but this unorthodox, right? Because at a certain point, you would imagine that a lot of your instincts would tell you, hey, just back away. And that's something that Umbrella Squad literally never does. And that's why when you look at Castle, hey, it's a good time to start moving back. No, he goes in even harder, which I think KBG really got caught off guard a multitude of times with how devoted they are to just fighting in their back lines.
I think it's also the fact that Umbrella Squad, they are absolutely willing to take fights outnumbered, right? They're willing to try and test their mechanics. Like that right there. Castle, I guess he is stuck in the base, but he is just going in 1v4, no HP, and he's like, you know what? Let's see. Go so riskily in means that for KBG, they're constantly wondering, hey, this is going well, but is it okay? And that hesitation is what makes it so difficult for them to find some moments to try and turn the game around.
That's why, be like Castle. Get your ult canceled like 5 times and still commit, and still commit even harder to get the 6th one off.
Well, Castle has an, like, let's say an iron heart, because this guy fears nothing. He doesn't even fear death. He just goes in, he just initiates, he just, like, sacrifices himself. As I told you, they use him to the best, and as I told you at the beginning, at the very beginning, the #1 rule at Team Umbrella Squad is just trust Castle.
And never back away. Because even Castle, right, he went with the tank emblem right here, not the fighter emblem. So he's not going for a lot of more damage or regeneration. He wants to be as tanky as possible, because he knows he's going to be in the front. And he went with the Wilderness Blessing to ensure that he can keep up with the team, right? The Novaria, the Lancelot, there's a lot of mobility right here that he needs to keep up with, and maybe even to a degree, getting more movement speed to move out along with his team. He went with the Vitality to really capitalize on the kit, right? The regeneration coming in from the Vengeance, and that was a big problem, especially in the early game, without any consistent source of DPS, right? Faramis, Joy, these are all burst damage heroes. The real DPS kind of is God Yang, but even then, compared to like a Bruno, for example, the Brody is a lot more burst heavy. So when Castle can regenerate so much HP, it makes it so difficult for him to get taken down.
When I remember the game, when I rewound it inside my head, do you think that at the early game pressure from the Kaja taking that blue buff and Simba just betting that he wouldn't need to use his retribution actually affected the early game?
The fact that Simba wasn't able to get the retribution, I mean, he was really zoned out away, man. There's just so many ways for Umbrella Squad to try and find him initially, and also to punish him, especially with the double the double engage available on their roster.
I mean, let's also not forget the fact that by the time he hit level 4 and went into the turtle pit, he was like, what? Like literally 2% EXP down on Marl at that point, so I don't think it really made too much of an impact. Yes, it's a little bit annoying, but at the end of the day, did it really change the odds for him? He managed that early one, but later on is where it became very brutal, am I right? Like that mid game was kind of disgusting, and I think that's where we got to see the benefit of that Wilderness Blessing, because again, Arlet's getting shoved in, I gotta catch up somehow.
And man, I think in the late game earlier, I say late game, but we're 15 minutes in, right?
Quote unquote late game.
Literally, usually the late game mark. But we can see that Simba, if he can really get his hands on to Black March, he can take him down. Like earlier, he used the Purify and the Wind of Nature, but against the magic damage, it's no big deal. The problem is he just wasn't allowed, right? The rationing of crowd control from Umbrella Squad is just so much better. There's no real moment here where anyone from KBG can feel that, hey, this is the chance, right? Both the Cho and the Joy couldn't really find a nice window to try and get in.
I agree with you on that one, because in a lot of these team fights, again, some of the same problems started to occur, like especially when it came down to the important ones around the pit. I mean, obviously Rich Guy could carry them, forgot one leading over to the Umbrella Squad for obvious reasons, but see you in these particular situations with the help of Tide, he wants to be able to do something here, and when he does, unfortunately, there's not enough follow-up, and more importantly, there's too much commitment on the singular target. I feel the comms are sounding like we need to be able to take out this one specific guy, and everything else starts to fade away. They forget about the other 4 members of the team.
Well, I think that Team Umbrella Squad is a momentum-based team, because once they catch up their own base, it's so hard to stand up against them. Team KBG at some point fell down to the pressure and to how much consistent Team Umbrella Squad was hitting one time after another, because I've seen that Gaja annoy Simba, and I've seen Marl just getting inside and moving around like he owns that place, and like he knows what exactly he's doing, and he did know what he was exactly doing. And that's why actually he was so focused in terms of the jab. There was a lot of Marl, let's say, particularly, what was the word for it? Like target bans.
Oh, Marl target bans. I mean, again, in the early game, the jungle now has so much
variety.
Impact, right? There's variety, but there's also a lot of things now that really rely on the jungle, right? With how important the neutral objectives are, with how much more often the junglers are ganking and trying to get some impact in the early game. It puts so much more pressure on the junglers, which is why you're seeing a lot more of these mechanic-heavy, playmaking-heavy junglers show up into the meta, right? It's no longer just the roamers making the plays. The junglers also need to be independent and try and do things on their own.
And it's kind of like a trickle-down effect, right? It's like, oh, jungler needs to do this, mid has to be able to support the jungler in that sense. It's just thing after thing after thing after thing after thing.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but we should know once again that every team have proved that they are doing really great. So are they gonna be better than great? Let's see after the break.
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major IP owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The biggest cube over here has been the nexus of this zone.
What I saw from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, you know, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role-playing, it's real world.
Grab only, savings ang dami, your wallet sings tonight. Laki ng bawi, pag nag-grab only, save 2 for 4 alright.
the #1 seed, the champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid that you'll lose everything. Do you ever get scared of losing, Kimmy?
Well, big girl, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. World Championship. I'm back.
like I might get over. But you could give me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback. Ace this round and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You could keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my honor. I feel like a pro insider. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. Can't get it great. I'm better than great. I play my own role. I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I feel the power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. We start to the game, shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like a pro insider. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. They are fun, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. If we stand tall and believe we can make it, you and me, with a sense of urgency, you'll see I'm better than great. I'm better than great. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm better than. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. They are fun, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great.
Which country do you think is the best at mobile game?
Mobile game, of course, it's China.
Является Китай.
I think it will grow more because they do everything to win, like that kind of mentality.
觉得我们队伍是一个比较敢打敢拼的队伍吧，就是无论在国外还是国内，我们都是一个很敢于去打架的。
China punya MLBB dia tak cukup lagi setahun. Masih depan mungkin dalam setahun setengah boleh kot.
I don't expect much from them in this wild card.
我觉得他们第一个牺牲吧，应该不是很好啊，这是成绩。下一次可能好一点吧，因为他们才刚开始。
Yo no creo que KUC sea tan poderoso como dicen, como porque el otro equipo chino terminó mal.
我们想跟他们说的是，虽然我们才刚加入这个项目不久，但是不要小看我们。
Я считаю, что китайцы в будущем станут очень сильны. Я готов им отдать сразу второе место после EECA, поэтому... Should KBG be the team that we fear? We don't fear any team.
面对这些强敌，我会更加有动力。我会先学习他们，然后去超越他们。
跟他们的差距可能在于我们游玩的时间没有他们长，经验没有他们丰富，但是我们在短时间内的进步其实是特别大的，所以我们自己都很有自信，觉得自己能从中出现。
China is a very smart region.
They have a lot of world titles in other mobile games.
คิดว่าทีมจีนเป็นตัวอย่างหน่อยเขาโมโหยังเกี่ยวเขาหลาย
我觉得未来中国是很大的潜力吧，对我们来讲一个很大的挑战。
他们对我们有期待，我们也会尽我们全力展现出自己最好的一面。
这是我们中国队第一次参加 M 赛，但肯定不是最后一次。
我们已经做好准备登上舞台。
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major IP owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The DSQ over here has been the nexus of this zone.
What I saw from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role-playing, it's real world.
Pag-grab only, savings ang dami, your wallet sings tonight. Laki ng bawi, pag nag-grab only, save 2 for 4 alright.
The #1 seed, the champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid that you will lose everything. Get scared of losing, Kimmy?
Well, big bro, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. I'm back.
like I might get over. But you could give me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback. Ace this round and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You could keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my honor. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. Can't get a grade, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. We'll start to the game, shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Lay up firm, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. If we stand tall and believe we can make it, you and me, with a sense of urgency, you'll see I'm better than great. I'm better than great. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm better than. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great.
Which country do you think is the best at mobile game?
Mobile game, of course it's China.
China.
Является Китай.
I think it will grow more because they do everything to win, like that kind of mentality.
觉得我们队伍是一个比较敢打敢拼的队伍吧，就是无论在国外还是国内，我们都是一个很敢于去打架的。
China punya MLBB dia tak cukup lagi setahun. Masih depan mungkin dalam setahun setengah boleh kot.
I don't expect much from them in this wildcard.
我觉得他们第一个season吧，应该不是很好啊，这次成绩，下一次可能好一点吧，因为他们才刚开始。
Yo no creo que KUC sea tan poderoso como dicen, como porque el otro equipo chino terminó mal.
我们想跟他们说的是，虽然我们才刚加入这个项目不久，但是不要小看我们。
Я считаю, что китайцы в будущем станут очень сильны. Я готов им отдать сразу второе место после EECA, поэтому... Should KBG be the team that we fear? We don't fear any team.
面对这些强敌，我会更加有动力。我会先学习他们，然后去超越他们。
跟他们的差距可能在于我们游玩的时间没有他们长，经验没有他们丰富，但是我们在短时间内的进步其实是特别大的，所以我们自己都很有自信，觉得自己能从中出现。
China is a very smart region.
They have a lot of world titles in other MOBA games.
คิดว่าทีมจีนเป็นตัวอย่างหนอดเข้าโมโหยังเกี่ยวเขาหลาย
我觉得未来中国是很大的潜力吧，对我们来讲一个很大的挑战。
他们对我们有期待，我们也会尽我们全力展现出自己最好的一面。
这是我们中国队第一次参加 M 赛，但肯定不是最后一次。
我们已经做好准备登上舞台。
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major idea owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The biggest cube over here has been the nexus of this zone.
What I saw it from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, you know, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role-playing, it's real world.
Grab only, savings ang dami, your wallet sings tonight. Laki ng bawi, pag nag-grab only, save 2 4 4 alright.
The #1 seed, the champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid that you'll lose everything. Get scared of losing, Kenny?
Well, big girl, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. Championship. I'm back.
my shoulder. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my honor. Nah, 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 I feel like a flow inside. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na, and you know I hold the power. This feeling I love, oh yeah. Making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, girl. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. Can't get it great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I've been kinda greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. What's up to the game? Shall reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like a flow inside. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na, and you know I hold the power. This feeling I love, oh yeah. Making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, girl. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. If we stand tall and believe we can make it, you and me, with a sense of urgency, you'll see I'm better than great. I'm better than great. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm better than. Making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, girl. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great.
Which country do you think is the best at mobile game?
Mobile game, of course, it's China.
China.
Является Китай.
I think it will grow more because they do everything to win, like that kind of mentality.
觉得我们队伍是一个比较敢打敢拼的队伍吧，就是无论在国外还是国内，我们都是一个很敢于去打架的。
China punya MLBB dia tak cukup lagi setahun. Masih depan mungkin dalam setahun setengah boleh kot.
I don't expect much from them in this wildcard.
我觉得他们第一个season吧，应该不是很好啊，这次成绩，下一次可能好一点吧，因为他们才刚开始。
Yo no creo que KUG sea tan poderoso como dicen, como porque el otro equipo chino terminó mal.
我们想跟他们说的是，虽然我们才刚加入这个项目不久，但是不要小看我们。
Я считаю, что китайцы в будущем станут очень сильны. Я готов им отдать сразу второе место после EECA, поэтому... Should KBG be the team that we fear? We don't fear any team.
面对这些强敌，我会更加有动力。我会先学习他们，然后去超越他们。
跟他们的差距可能在于我们游玩的时间没有他们长，经验没有他们丰富，但是我们在短时间内的进步其实是特别大的，所以我们自己都很有自信，觉得自己能从中出现。
China is a very smart region.
They have a lot of world titles in other mobile games.
คิดว่าทีมจีนเป็นตัวอย่างหนอดเข้าโมโหยังเกี่ยวเขาหลาย
我觉得未来中国是很大的潜力吧，对我们来讲一个很大的挑战。
他们对我们有期待，我们也会尽我们全力展现出自己最好的一面。
这是我们中国队第一次参加 M 赛，但肯定不是最后一次。
我们已经做好准备登上舞台。
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major IP owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The biggest cube over here has been the nexus of the stone.
What I saw from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, you know, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role-playing, it's real world.
Pag-grab only, savings ang dami, your wallet sings tonight. Laki ng bawi, pag nag-grab only, save 2 4 for alright.
The #1 seed, the champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid that you will lose everything. Ever get scared of losing, Kenny?
Well, big bro, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. Championship. I'm back.
shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my army. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. Can't get it great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. We're start to the game, shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. If we stand tall and believe we can make it, you and me, with a sense of urgency, you'll see I'm better than great. I'm better than great. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm better than. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. Hit me like I might kick over, but you can get me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback. Ace this round and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my army. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. Can't get it great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. We start to the game, shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel. Oh yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. Play our part, nothing gon' change. Great. We are better than great. If we stand tall and believe
Mi nombre es Aurora.
It's me Clock.
ข่อยชื่อว่าเจ็ดบิน
My IGN is Yahiko.
Soy el jungla y capitán de Imperio.
4Merical Esports.
ในแม่ Esports
1 year ago, when everything started, we couldn't imagine that 1 year later we were going to be in Malaysia trying to get to the M5.
At first time when M1 came, we were like, wow, a World Cup for Mobile Legends. That's only for the big region like Indonesia, Philippines. We can just dream of it, we can just think of it.
The dream started when we make a company to organize tournaments in Peru. Popular game we organized was Mobile Legends. So my partner told me to make a team that plays that game, and that's how Imperial was born.
แต่ก่อนก็สิมีงานแข่งพอสมควรแต่เดี๋ยวนี้ก็รู้สึกว่างานแข่งเริ่มหลายขึ้นเพราะในลาวมันก็สิมีผู้เล่นเก่งหลายขึ้นเพราะมันมีทัวร์นาเมนต์หลายขึ้นเขาเจ้าก็ตั้งใจสอบเพื่อให้ฝีมือตัวเองโดดเด่นขึ้นมา
The official tournament also came in Nepal.
We can practice much, have a proper skills. We can grind more and be skillful.
Bien, jugar contra Videtron Sans dentro de la Liga Latam fue una experiencia que nos ayudó demasiado para madurar como equipo, como personas y vivir el momento.
The experience of playing in Sao Paulo in front of Brazilian people, going for RRQ or Akira, 2 meters from the players. Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. In the end of one of the matches, a couple of them ended crying because they're kids, they're 16 years old, no? And they've learned that losing is part of the game as winning. Es una oportunidad para pasarle en equipo, entre amigos y aprender, disfrutar. Vean mucho los otros equipos y disfruten. Nosotros hace un año no esperábamos estar aquí, estamos a un mes. ¡Let's go, Imperio!
After losing ISF, I was like, we're gonna need a coach. I keep on messaging each and everyone, and I found Amox is from like Wikipedia.
Other coaches doesn't want to take the risk at the new region, at the new team. 4Merical, I can see that they have dedication. I told myself, let's be the first one to give them hope.
So I hope we can clear all the states so that the next generation won't suffer that hard to prove their skills to the international level.
4Merical are still holding! There he goes! Loves the immortality! Get
To be honest, I would say 99% SMG will win.
Team SMG will keep their nightmares at bay in day number 1 the wild card as they
That
take
1% is the hope and dedication from 4Merical with the chemistry that they have for 5 to 4 years that is going to make us win over SMG.
Welcome to the second game of day 3. I'll be with you. I'm Yasu, joined by Gideon, and I have also the TAA himself, tactical analyst Arashi. Let's together and let's carry on throughout this marathon. We have an eventful day, and also I would like to welcome you to this game that's gonna happen here between Team SMG and Nepal's 4Merical Esports.
Now, M5 is powered by Munton, presented by Kadia, and supported by ROG, the official gaming phone. Grab the official super app partner, and let's not forget about Secret Lab, our official chair partner.
Thank you for all the support, guys. You guys are the best.
Well, if you don't know already, the ROG Phone 6 is M5's official gaming phone, and it backs the game-winning power of Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1 chipset, right? And also with the class-leading Game Cool 6 thermal system that lets you break every limit.
Yo, don't forget, it also comes with a spectacular 165 Hz AMOLED display and a monster 6000 mAh battery life to power all your gaming needs. You can game all day, every day. You don't even have to be concerned about charging, bro. That's freedom.
Well, speaking of like eventful days, I think that there are some events that are not happening with us here on the stage.
Really? What's going
today,
on? It happens to be Leo's birthday.
So you
Whoa,
know.
from Team Falcons?
Not that Leo. Not that Leo. Not the L-I-O Leo. An L-E-O Leo.
Leo's birthday. Mr. Dad.
Yeah.
So to everybody here from the Wildcards, happy birthday to you, Leo, out there. Stay healthy, my guy. But importantly, let's come back into this game, because again, after content like 4Merical, we heard it from Mr. Clock himself. They want to make sure that the next generation is going to have an easier time. And maybe even if they perform well here today and make it to M5, they just might have their dreams come true.
Well, it is a race against time, and we have Mr. Clock himself. So do you think that the clock will be ticking to the favor of Team 4Merical, or do they need a miracle to play and to win against Team SMG?
Man, a lot of word games available right here, man. I think I wouldn't go as far as to say a miracle, right? I think they have a chance. It is the wild cards where the wildest of things always happen, but there's a lot of things they have to really iron out, man. We're not really seeing their main weapon, you know, something they can really use to really take advantage of SMG. Although maybe in the late game, right, as you mentioned, the clock might be ticking, and for SMG, the fact that their Lord usage was, in day one at least, not so optimal, that could be something that 4Merical could use.
Possibly. I think that 4Merical right now is starting to recognize that once you are getting to the higher levels of play, snowballing is so much easier for coordinated professional teams, because the game can only go on for so long. Once we get into the upper echelons, at least then there is some kind of a default, a base standard of what the early game should look like, and then you have the outliers like Homeboys, for example, and there's also, you know, teams like we saw earlier, Umbrella Squad, hyper aggressive.
Well, there is something that's might be a wild pick, and it might be a wild card for Team 4Merical, which is, I've witnessed Leslie in their arsenal. They were doing really good on that gold lane protection, using and executing that gold lane meta. It was like babysitting the gold lane was called Protect the King, where the marksman is the king. And trust me when I'm telling you that Yahiko is being treated like a king in Team 4Merical, and there's a lot of pressure on him. But you know what's also wild, before we hit into the draft? They use Gord mainly.
They mainly use Gord. That's a strategy we've occasionally seen. Funny enough, in Indonesia, sometimes it does make an appearance. So for me personally, it's not too crazy. That pick has great pick-off potential. It has great burst potential if you're playing for pick-offs. If you can lock someone down and hit him with that Mystic Gush, Mystic Field combo, it's going to be a lot of burst damage. And in the wave clear department, I think that's one of the main strengths of the Gord. I played it way before it was meta, and it feels so good, man, to just place your skill down and just walk away.
It just sounds like you're nice soup pilled right now. I mean, if Gord was so good, why isn't he getting played more often these days? And you know, in the previous meta, maybe when the tanks were so tough and so hard that you really need some form of true damage to get through them. But I feel like nowadays, the mobility is an important aspect.
But we have said actually quite the same thing, or it was so similar about the Valentina, because it wasn't brought up that much. So should we say the same thing about Gord, and then as a reverse caster curse, right? Reverse caster curse, and then we bring it up. Okay, so we really do?
Exactly.
Is that a thing?
Even Mirko, shout out Mirko, he has the caster curse, but he also has the caster bless.
So we have two basilisks.
Exactly.
It just depends on which.
So which is which?
Huh?
Which is his passive in a good way and in a bad way. Which is his curse and which is his blessing.
It depends on what's going on the day.
It's like Unox, man. Sometimes you have more order, sometimes you have more chaos. You don't know which ult you're going to get without the indicator. That's the fun of it. And I think that in this particular case here for 4Merical, their biggest weakness was that early game. Thankfully, the matchup against Team SMG, they're very methodical. They're not the hyper-aggressive type. They're very standard.
But actually, after saying that Leslie and Gord are one of their main picks, and it is in their arsenal, actually the first thing that comes to my mind is that both these picks play really good on the true damage.
True damage. I mean, especially in the late game, the true damage becomes such a good component. It's able to blow through all the defenses. But I think that's the point that Guido was making earlier, right? Along with the true damage, it's that late game situation, because in a way, we like to say in the MMA community, styles make matchups, right? Even if on paper you're supposed to win, if your style just really matches well with your opponents, sometimes that can be good, or it can be really, really bad.
It could be, but it's time. We've got Malaysians on both sides this time round, but will it be the Nepalese representatives taking away in 4Merical on the red side against Team SMG, the favorites to take a spot to M5 here at the wildcards on the blue side?
It is quite a challenge. It is quite a challenge. Team 4Merical right now, we are up against the favorites. And right now, actually, Team SMG are banning. I'm not going to say they are focusing on a certain person or even a meta. It's a little bit messy. I think it's...
Esports take a
Are they
1-1
like
ban
taking an
and
apple
Joy.
from each tree? Like
Joy
one assassin and one XP, roamy-ish thing, and then a gold laner?
Yeah, for both teams, it's kind of a weird situation right here. Because if the idea is to deny a strong gold laner, then we have both teams banning it out, right? They're kind of like banning towards each other. Makes me kind of feel that maybe the attention is going to be on the mid lane instead, right? That's how I think it's hinting here.
Okay. We're not seeing hard target bans, but at the very least, we're getting a rough idea of what's coming out, right? At the very least, I can say that Bruno Sasa absolutely hates dealing with it. He doesn't enjoy playing it too very often. And that's why going for a Guinevere as a overall good flex pick for the side of Team SMG is a good way to open.
At this point, I think that Nolan is forbidden.
Yeah, 15 ban, I think,
yeah.
if I recall correctly. And by the way, big change right here. Masarab is actually in the roster, so just realized that. So there's a bit of a substitution going for Miracle. The previous data might not be as accurate any longer.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point here. And I'm guessing that's why they're going for the Turisla pretty early on, and they're pairing it up with the Valentina. See, Caster Blast actually works. It's working out for the first time in a very long time, to be honest.
Yeah, it is working. It is working. Maybe, I don't know so far. I don't know about myself, but I don't know if I have a curse, like a caster curse or a caster blast. Let's figure out the series itself. So far we have seen that actually I have a caster curse, because I started the series saying that we will not see Guinevere that much, and it just keeps on coming as a roamer, as a jungler, as like anywhere and everywhere. So yeah. Maybe I'm cursed after all.
Maybe. I mean, you also predicted for Falcons and did not come out on top yesterday. There is that as well. For now, though, let's get back into the game. Oh my lord, this is an insane draft here. Guinevere, Faramis, and Mathilda. Three very hotly contested picks. And for 4Merical, Teresa and Valentina can be good. And technically, they have dealt with the Faramis by having the IMU from Valentina. But with the Mathilda and the Guinevere, I think they're going to be outmatched when it comes to beginning a fight and following up on a fight as well.
I think what you're trying to get there is outmaneuvered, because at the very least we're thinking at, like, you know, surface level, she steals the ult, you try to pop the call altar once again, oh sorry, the nether realm as they call it nowadays, and then your opponent decides to do so. But with the Matilda, at the very least you can get a little bit more flexible with it. So I very much like the Akai locked in for the side of 4Merical to add that second layer. Yes, it's not a guiding win, but at the very least, it's a disengage.
So, Guinevere with 100% win rate, that does say that it is quite dangerous that she is open, right? Like 100%, as like, whenever she is picked, she wins.
Well, the stats don't lie, man, but now that you've mentioned that, you get concerned. You just said that maybe there's some kind of curse element working right here. Well, we see the win rate finally break the 100, or is it going to continue being one of the most dominant heroes in the wildcard series right now? The expert will ban away from 4Merical.
That's new.
We haven't seen it so far. And it's responded by Ixia as well. This is a wild drafting phase.
Yeah,
it is a wild card after all.
It is the wild cards after all. That is fair. And shouts out to somebody else who's also having a birthday. Apparently, Lung, the analyst from the side of Team SMG, is having a birthday. Thanks to one of the audience members pointing it out. Once again, shout out to the SMG crowd out here. But let's get into that final ones, right? I'm guessing that Team SMG, now that they've already kind of predicted or expected to get this winning matchup for the side of Sasa, that's where I feel that Coach Pao is going to be focusing on for their last ban, but I'm not sure about 4Merical.
Well, I think that both teams have prepared so well, because they do have some wild bans already. They have that X-Work, they have the Ixia, maybe we'll even like see something way wilder than we are already seeing, but Why pressure the gold so hard so far, even though no team has secured that gold lane?
I think in a way, it might be a benefit for the side of 4Merical. We were talking about how they like to play weird gold laners. Now with all the common gold laners banned out,
yeah,
SMG might be the ones thrown into unfamiliar territory.
So is it a Beatrix or a Clint thing we'll see here?
Potentially, I know that Sasa can play Clint. I know that he plays Beatrix as well. If we're looking at 4Merical's side, the most standard modus operandi in this particular case is going to be the Beatrix. Very reliable, and even if you're losing lane, you can just clear the wave and not interact with your opponent.
Do you agree, Mr. TAA?
I think the wave clear is definitely something that can be used for sure. For Merical, they do go with that Beatrix, man. So, wave clear, in a way, does favor them. So we'll see with wave clear, what can they get? Because with the Akai, the assumption is that it's always going to be about the neutral objectives. But we've seen that the Akai can be used aggressively to just pin people down with a heavy spin as well.
Yeah, we can see that there's also something new here. A new fact, Miko chooses a gun to control his emotion and emotions and had writings in his arm to remind him to become. So Miko have his own like pre-game preparations just to be in the zone.
The chewing gum thing, it is real. It is real. He does that throughout the entire season of MPL MY. The handwriting, interesting way of putting it, but yes, the writing on his hand, it's a Team SMG thing. It is so that they remember what they're supposed to do in that game.
I thought it helps him like with his handwriting. I didn't know like he writes.
He has literal writing on his hand. It's one of those things. It's a Team SMG thing to kind of keep them in the zone.
It's almost like a checklist on their arm, like a grocery list, but with a Diggy as well. That's interesting because the engage from SMG isn't very ultimate reliant. So going with a Diggy, there's gonna be times where the Diggy is gonna be forced to use the time journey, and there'll still be things available for SMG. Although the fact that they have alarm bombs to try and scout out, along with having an Akai, there are ways for sure for them to maneuver around here. If they can kite back in and out of a fight or catch Stormy, then maybe that is where they can get a big advantage.
Well, actually Team SMG is like quite confusing while they are drafting, because I've seen Saxa play Benedetta just perfectly in the jungle. So at a certain point I said like maybe we'll see something really wild and we have like a weird mix, but I think let's get this game started.
All right, with that being said, welcome everybody to our second best of 3 match here at the wildcard stage of the M5 World Championships. One of these teams are looking for the win. Let's find out who. It's going to be Team SMG up against their opponent, 4Merical. SMG on the blue side, 4Merical on the red.
Well, they choose to be violent. Well, they choose to be serious since the beginning. Oh, they don't show any. They don't choose anything right now, but to wait for a bit, to cool off for a bit, to just like let's say analyze everything at this short break until the marshals see what's wrong on the stage, just to make sure that this game will be fair for both sides.
How much do you want to bet that on Team SMG, on one of those players' hands, it says expect a pause?
Expect a pause? I mean, it's very possible. We were talking about a bit about this yesterday, man, because in theory it's just a pause, but there's also a lot of things you have to keep in mind during this time, so you can't really forget a lot of things that you have to do, especially in the beginning of a game where every single second really counts for the rotation, for the jungle clear. So having a checklist on your arm, that could be the new meta. So take a look at some cosplayers right here. The Leslie, that is well known for 4Merical, and the Loyi.
Wait, when did they get here? I'm pretty sure we walked from the stage to the table. I didn't see any cosplayers. When did they just suddenly appear?
They used the relocation.
Oh!
Loyi, dude, let's go!
I should have known. I should have known better. But I think for the most part, right, when we're leaning in towards what's going to really affect the game, this Tourism, yes, it is a problem because you want to kind of collect together, you want to pop out the Nether Realm, and all of a sudden the penalty zone comes out. But have you witnessed Smooth on this Benedetta? He's kind of nutty with it.
Well, at least after this time finishes, we will see soon if they will manage to make that Benedetta work, and will they manage... like, I seen that Team Umbrella Squad are cheering for a certain team. Are they cheering for Team SMG.
Hard to say which side they're sitting on. I think they're in front of them, but then it could be reverse. Oh, they're on 4Merical side.
Well, that was, I think it was Marl and Black March, if I'm not mistaken. And behind them, actually, you're seeing yet another cosplayer. They're preparing to show him on the stage, looking kind of fancy with it.
No way! No way! Okay. They can't see it on the screen yet. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. But I need to throw that. It is the most, let's say, awaited reveal for a cosplay.
Well, we haven't seen it. We're not going to see it just yet because we're going to go straight back into the Land of Dawn for now.
Here we go. We are now in. We are 1 minute in without anything, without any casualties, no invading, nothing is happening at the Land of Dawn. 4Merical just playing the basic game, and also at the same time, Team SMG are doing the same thing. But what's actually so annoying is knowing how much that Guinevere can flip everything around, especially if she went for a full tank set.
You see the golden here, Yahiko getting zoned out a bit. I'm concerned a bit more about the Diggy right here. Clearly, with all such mobility, the first time can be a huge problem, man. You think you have a dash, you can get out. Before you know it, you get pulled back in, and that's the end of you. That could be used very well by the Matilda. Miko running the basic emblem as well as a clock on the Diggy. So they're both going to be having a bit more of an attrition battle, and they're both just waiting in the gold lane.
Yeah, as I told you, they are treating their gold lane as a king. Yahiko and Clock on the top lane. They are in each other, like having each other's back. And at the same time, Team SMG are doing the same exact things. So far, so good. So far, no kills, nothing is happening except for that like little invade from the side of Saxa. But Team SMG might be cooking something.
Almost returning and then have to fight through his
with Lunatic
They go in pretty hard with the Electro final blow, and I think that's also the Petrify coming out from Smooth. But unfortunately, the angle just wasn't there. This turtle should still fall into the hands of the side of Team SMG, because at the end of the day, the Akai was chunked out.
Was it a really good move to just leave that turtle for free?
Well, I mean, what can you do otherwise? That's the problem with having your main tank also being your jungler, right? You're prone to getting poked down, and Miko's trying to go for a 1v1. A bit ambitious, but backup is available, but they get flanked out.
Up top side, Stormy, he's able to get hold. Time reversal pulls him back in, but look at Xerox, he's right behind Miko. Miko should be confident in getting out of here because he knows that the Nether Realm was the stolen all and not the Circling Eagle.
I don't know how much Wait, what
He's
happened?
going back in. He's going back in on that top side, right? He's still annoying Lunatic Panda. This is going to be a little frustrating.
I was about to tell you how much courage does it take to just keep annoying Akai while knowing that he has his ult ready.
Well, I mean, you can see the rest of the map, but now Saxa coming in.
Oh, but the Violent Requiem has already been used. Good hits, but now Masak is about to punish this. Even Retribution has to be committed to try and get him out, but no, Saxa still going to be giving first blood over to 4Merical.
Takes the first kill. It is actually a really good first blood in terms of like Teams SMG have been pressuring the jungle for 4Merical, but on the counter, the irony of it, Team SMG's jungler is the one to fall first.
4Merical responded really well to that aggression right there, and they're just dealing with the harassment. They don't really have any sustain tools, but generally they're all tanky enough. Xerox.
Oh, he gets pulled over the wall and is forced to use Netherrealm super early on. Miko cannot go any further than this. No Circling Eagle for him, but keep in mind, 22 more seconds until the next neutral spawn.
I think at some point, I actually just watched the SMG names, but before that there was like a lot of ultimates, a lot of action happening at the mid lane. But looking at the names, Smooth, Saxa, Stormy, Sasa, I think that Miko needs to change his name to something that starts with an S.
Sicko.
Yeah, maybe Sicko.
Sicko mode.
He's going Sicko mode. That'd be awesome. Honestly, that'd be really, really cool. But in the meantime, let's see. Next neutral objective, we're seeing that SMG is already on top of it, and they're continuing to be annoying to Lunatic Panda. Circling Eagle, they're getting Smooth, who's rotating way too fast with Rizla to keep up, to continue to invade and be annoying. On bottom side, we do see that 3 members are trying to get some gold plating. Don't get too much of it, but here comes Stormy as well as Miko, forcing Clock to flicker out of there.
Mind games. Mind games.
Time here for 4Merical Esports. They have the Akai, but they don't have any pressure in the waves. in the lanes to really try and gather around the turtle objective. Masarap in particular, it seems like he's having an okay laning phase, but he's never really participating in Clock.
Okay, they managed to get the ult out of Clock for now, and that means that bottom tier 1 is going to fall. Ooh, Smooth was looking for the angle, but I think it's a little too soon, and now they start pulling back. They don't want to press that advantage and give away free kills.
Well, I wouldn't say 4Merical need a miracle anymore to win against SMG, but SMG are forcing their base. I would say like, they have so much confidence in whatever they are doing whenever they are invading, laning, walking in the map, having macro and micro skills, but on the other side, 4Merical so far, I think it's so good.
For Miracle, I wouldn't say so good. 2k gold disadvantage against a team that's so aggressive like Team SMG. Not to mention Sasa still farming up without getting any interruptions at all. It's going to be a bit difficult
What
in the
about their late game though? 4Merical, what about their late
ওরা
game?
মানে মার্কসম্যান আর এক্সপি লেন অনেক সুন্দর লেন চেঞ্জ করতেছে একটু ওই টপে যায় এ বটমে আসে ওই বটমে যায় ওই টপে আসে ওই যে ফাইট শুরু হয়ে গেছে পারফেক্ট ওদের জন্য হচ্ছে যা দুইটা টাওয়ার ডিস্ট্রয় করে দিতে এটা কি ছিল মানে হচ্ছে যে চান্সও দেয় নাই কোনো
pushing out Lunatic's Panda once again. Miko, he's being annoying, but Xerox, he needs to maintain his farm. Unfortunately for him, he can only back up his teammates in the lane. Unfortunately, not press it into the jungle.
Miko is irritating, Miko is annoying, and he is playing those mind games to Lunatic Panda. He's just whenever or wherever Lunatic Panda is in somewhere, he knows that Miko is waiting just
বাফের মধ্যে ব্লু বাফের যে ফাইট হচ্ছে এত প্যারা নিয়ে এরা হচ্ছে যে টাইটেলে ফোকাস করবে নাকি তারা জঙ্গলিং বাফে ফোকাস করবে না কি করবে এটাই হচ্ছে বড় কথা
Just very casually drives by, gets some information. Can he get punished though? Smooth. He should be fine. I think his eye for an eye came up a little bit earlier, but he doesn't mind getting pulled back to try to bait something out of for the side of 4Merical. 110 seconds until we do see the first Lord spawn of that game. But again, if we're talking about Avatars, it's 2-0.
Yeah, I think that at this point, I wouldn't say Team Miracle don't need a miracle. I'm not gonna like use that phrase so much, but Team Miracle at a certain point have to do something because so far they are not even trying to respond. They are just on the defensive side.
They can't really do much when their laners are just losing 1v1, especially with Smooth going in there. Xerox!
No! The counter-circling Eagle to get himself out of there. Very dangerous stuff with Team SMG. Walking up even closer. Panda quickly dropping the heavy spin on towards the clone. And that's a major ultimate. Big ultimates for the side of 4Merical's resources already gone.
That's a problem right here. They're just using all their ultimates defensively, so they can't get any chance to really counter-aggress. Yahiko now trying to get something on Smooth.
You should be okay here. You should be totally fine. He's got the ult, he's got the eye for an eye. Doesn't even need to sweat it. I told you, his Benedetta kind of cracked.
Yeah, you had so much confidence, Gideon, when I was saying that. I didn't have the same confidence about Smooth, but it seems like you know the guy so closely because
আবার সে খুব সুন্দর করে যায় well here's the right moment to try and go for that petrified plays, but right now look at how 4Merical are playing, man. They just force the group together and they're losing objectives left and right. They're not dropping any kills, but the goal difference is slowly but surely catching up due to the farming speed of the members of Team SMG. And look at Sasa, dude. He is 2 levels ahead, probably leads the difference in gold. As Miko just catch a certain eagle, it looks troll, but he's getting a lot of information for his team right here.
Yes, he does.
I need your insight, Arashi, about this. So is a 5v5 like a fight, like all 10 members on the screen fighting together? Who is supposedly gonna win? 5v5.
Well, that depends. I'm inclined to believe it's Team SMG.
Because of the gold or the composition?
Composition and gold, a bit of both. The only advantage they have is the beaches with the AoE ultimates, but they won't even let him do that now. Shredding the Lord here, that's the true damage coming in from the carry.
The Circling Eagle has also been buffed again. Information, Smooth and Miko continue to be a nuisance in 4Merical's side as a 3-Lord falls into the hands of Team SMG.
I don't know if I can count that as a win to Team 4Merical, but so far they haven't lost the life of Yahiko, and also they only got 1 kill behind, but That's why we actually expect in international events and international tournaments, we don't see so much kills as how much
Items-এর
the
দিকে
mentality of
দেখলে
the players,
carrot
how much the macro
তিনটা item
skills
বানানো হয়ে
matter,
গেছে।
and how the drafting
আর
is.
blade
So
of this
1-to-1 kill. Even though there's no much kills, there's so much happening in the land of God.
I think it's one of those situations where
কিন্তু
it's not even about the
আমার
kills
কথা
for
হচ্ছে
Team
যে
SMG, it's about pressuring the enemy jungler.
bottom
Yeah.
laner,
If you look
sorry,
at
mid
the
laner
items
হচ্ছে
as
যে
well,
first tower
Smooth is up there, man, with a 1 to 2k gold difference. Lunatic Panda just can't get a good engage right here.
আসলে
With the wave speed though, they will be able to defend, and this is where a lot of people are saying Team SMG starts falling off, man. They don't have long range damage right here, and they usually fall victim to a
Tower
good
তো আর
base
নাই
defense.
inhibitor
So
tower
4Merical
ছাড়া
Esports can
সব
hang
destroy
on
করে
right
দিচ্ছে
here. They still have a chance to come back
যেভাবে
into the
ধুয়ে
game.
বুঝে যাচ্ছে কিন্তু আমি হচ্ছে যে দেখলাম যে ব্লেডের ডিসপ্লে আগে বানাইছে
Will
বিট্রিক্স
Team
এটা
4Merical be able to make a successful or pull off a
ব্লেডের
successful
ডিসপ্লে যে
defense
পরিমাণ
by
গোল
having
লাগে
that
এটা
composition? And I think
পরে
Yahiko
বানাইলে
can
একটু ভালো
buy
হতো না
some time for Team 4Merical.
I totally agree with you, Yasu. I think that this is, even though you are 8k behind, it's one of the more ideal situations for 4Merical. Obviously, they would want to shorten the gap, but it's really not up to them. It's all about, hey, is Team SMG going to make that move, make that first move, make that first mistake, and then we punish.
Especially when they're up against the base right here. Team SMG, we've seen them play a bit too passive almost. This is that threshold right here where, for the most part, a lot of the core items are completed for Team SMG. This is the mid-game power spike that they can really take advantage of, but they're not, right? They're still waiting around in the jungle. They have started freezing the waves right here, so for 4Merical Esports, it's going to be very difficult to still get the same level of income. So this is one way they can push their advantage. I think they're going to bank everything on the next Lord.
Well, based on my personal experience, I don't know about you guys, I want you to also share your perspective about it, like share your stories with me. But have you ever seen such peaceful match, just one kill to one kill, and like how low was it in terms of kills, based on your experiences? Was there something around that finished with a 1-to-1 kill? Like, can the game finish?
Oh yeah, easily. I think it's what we call MPL PH, where the entire league plays the game at a very high level.
So there is a league for that.
Oh yeah, there's an entire league. It's in the Philippines. It's happening in M5. If you don't know about it, now you know. But that's the thing, right? We're expecting a lot of action to happen. But Team SMG is one of those like slow compounding. Like we'll start early, and then we'll slowly build that up, and eventually we'll choke you out once we claim everything across the map.
And they already did. They claimed everything.
Playing with the whole jungle, but this is the problem with the freeze, man. A lot of the minions does fall to other minions, so here's a chance for 4Merical Esports to get some gold income. Try and find some information, some vision to try and go towards the Lord, but it's going to be a bit too difficult, man. Now they're on the run.
I think that today Lunatic Panda is going to have some nightmares, and definitely those nightmares will include Miko, because he was seeing that man's face everywhere across the map. I would like to literally just like have a round of applause for Miko. He was so annoying to a way that Team 4Merical cannot even move from their own base.
And now with the Lord coming in as well, they have a chance to go for a big fight with the Netherrealm. Now is when if they go for a big all-in, it's hard to imagine them falling short in the proper fight, right? The goal difference between the Benedetta and the Terizla for one means that there's a frontline difference. Even in the between carry and the Beatrix, man, 3k gold diff, already having the win of nature. There's a chance he can just stay in the front there and just shred people down.
They are worlds apart.
Here it comes. The Lord is going to be able to charge in and crack open the first inhibitor for the side of Team SMG. They've got a synchronized split, but now they're trying to get on top of Hawk and force him to use assault. Lunatic Panda tries to capitalize on it, and even the retribution from Saksa to slow him down. That's 2 inhibitors down. But the side of Team SMG barely interacting, but forcing the correct ultimates for the side of 4Merical. Now looking for the X. Saksa gets a great knockup. Oh, saved by the help of the mid laner. It's not over yet. He manages to go and reset. Masarap is taking too much damage, but Brock doesn't kill him. But Yahiko still holding up strong, very, very healthy. And worse yet, it just means that Team SMG will attempt and will succeed in getting the last inhibitor from 4Merical. But whoa, Smooth, hey, let's go down. Pull back and dead.
Oh my god, they are just holding on the edge. Team 4Merical losing all their inhibitor turrets, but did you manage to see that second skill from Diggy, and then it was cancelled by the Akai Arashi? Like, there was a mess at Team 4Merical.
Yeah, that's unfortunate as heck, but now Sasa gets pulled back. That's a reverse time gaining, but Masarap does not land the penalty zone. You gotta be a bit more calculative on that, and have to try and clear on the reverse time. Like you mentioned, Yasu, earlier, there was a reverse time that got almost cancelled by Lunatic Panda, pushing Saksa away from the fight. Now Miko once again scouts with the Serpent Eagle without any base turrets. Seems like 4Merical Esports feels some momentum shift. They were able to get the kill on the smooth.
Retribution
I was gonna say it's a shutdown, but
Retribution
actually he does not have a kill.
He actually got even his blue.
Miko does take that purple buff though.
Yeah, purple. So I'm colorblind.
Don't worry about it. We have another friend who's also colorblind. But I mean, for now, from the way that I see it, this is
67% chance আছে ওদের কাছে win করার বাট স্টিল আমি কালকে তো মেবি কোন একটা ম্যাচ দেখতেছিলাম যে সেখানে কেবিজির ম্যাচটাই না মেবি
Well, watching Team SMG
একেবারে
before
মানে
we come here
চান্স
to the
ছিল
wild
যে
card,
ওরা
I
এটা
had
হাইরা
to
যাবে
believe that
দেন
these guys
লাস্টের
are
দিকে জিতে
robots.
গেছে
They just like move in a really synchronized way. They want the objectives. They are not looking for blood. They are not looking for team fights. And so far, I think that's quite much it.
Oh, hold on. Miko forced the flicker out of there, but that does mean that the heavy spin has been utilized. Doesn't get any benefits whatsoever, and I think 4Merical are going to call it here, right? Unless Lunatic Panda is going to live up to his name to steal this horde, Team SMG secures another one.
Do you think that they could have engaged that Lord?
Right there, I feel like it's a bit too late. You're just a bit too into the party. And with an 11k gold lead, unless you get a really good setup, I don't think you want to risk it. Now they have to defend against the Lord, and I think the only real advantage they have is the tankiness, right? They have two frontliners compared to one. If they can both really zone Sasa away just for a little bit, that means that the backline can just be a bit more active, and we've seen Smooth get chunked down to half HP off the back of a single runner's apathy. There is a chance that 4Merical Esports can catch him off guard yet again.
Well, Quack can make a surprising move against Team SMG by cancelling all their crowd control and even by applying some crowd control from Lunatic Panda, so they do have a chance to pull this defense off. But I think that it's going to be so hard even having that Beatrix and the clearance possibility.
Alright, this might be the final moment. Saksa immediately finds on the master. Rob gets out of the space of like range. Smooth goes into the back line, forces the time reversal, and it's going to be used. Passes to try to hold it up. Both Netherlands are going to be tough, and Smooth goes straight in for the base. And that's game number one. The lowest kill count we have seen today here at the wild card.
Breaking records, breaking bones, breaking everything. Team SMG takes game one.
A clean execution, man. Reminiscent of the Philippines, like we were talking about earlier. What an insane performance. Everything was calculated, and they know when to turn it up.
যথেষ্ট ভালো
We're questioning
ডিফেন্স
their
দিয়ে গেছে
no answer back from 4Merical. They gotta try and solve this problem, either in the early game or in the teamfight executions, because it's just not working out.
Yeah, I think, you know, at least for the side of Team SMG, it really shows the experience, the target priority. It feels like they have eyes on all ends of the map.
Well, actually, from my side, I think that at this moment, at this exact moment, Team SMG had something to say. Team 4Merical just had to listen carefully, because every time Team SMG was going in, they didn't hesitate in taking whatever they think it belongs to them, and actually it did belong to them eventually, because Team SMG wanted the turrets, they got the turrets. They wanted the gold lead, they got the gold lead. They wanted the lords, it was just as easy as taking like a piece of paper and cut it to two pieces. So Team SMG was in control and in charge of this game, and they were in command of every movement. And as I told you, they were the ones who attack, and Team 4Merical just had the opportunity to defend.
I think that it begins in the laning phase, right? Especially in that EXP lane. Masarap was struggling hard, man. And even afterwards, he can really participate in the games as well, in the big team fights. But this is going to be your MVP. The man with the chewing gum, the man with the writings on his arm. It's Miko on the Mathilda.
Miko MVP
Can you know,
102 KD.
it's just such a great performance and a 100% kill participation, technically, but you know, the amount of kills are very, very low in this game. He just knows when to go in, and his scouting was just so difficult to deal with. Just circling Eagle again and again. And even if 4Merical tries to punish him, he just finds a way to turn it back around. Miko, man, give him utility heroes that can really carry his
Miko
team and he will make
এই
it
ম্যাচেও
happen.
For
MVP
me, I think that Miko at
এর
a
আগের
certain point,
ম্যাচেও
like
যদি
by
MVP
seeing
পায়
that
মাথুল
freeze
ও
item,
আগামী ম্যাচের
he
মাথুলটা ব্যান
was
দেওয়া লাগছে
planning on annoying team 4Merical even further. He wanted to engage at a certain point and just like freeze.
Exactly, he can just beat out a lot of things with the guiding wind, with the circling eagle, and to a degree with the winter truncheon as well. So he can play a lot more aggressively, but you can see that his focus right here is to be that utility, right? He has the Flask of the Oasis, the Enchanted Talisman, and the Necklace of Durance. So his whole goal here is not just to go in and be the front line, even though technically there isn't a lot of front lines available. SMG, they're just that confident. And in the early game, despite their great start, they lost Sasa to this early game aggression. But afterwards, look at the plays, man. Cutting away members of 4Merical away from their safe zones. It just makes it so difficult for them to run away, especially because they have such low mobility. Like the Digi and the Terizla, what can you do when there are people between you and your base?
Well, I mean, you just gotta do what Team SMG do. Lay out a bunch of Legos on the floor, and hopefully when you're rotating, you step on one of them and it's too late.
And you look at the coordination right there. That was the heavy spin that canceled out the reverse time. But afterwards, Smooth was just a bit too zealous with it. Gets pulled back here with the reverse time, gives a kill away. But overall, it's still fine. He was so confident as well, moving against 5 people, despite the fact that he was particularly squishy there, losing half his HP. And look at Miko here. This is a great move, pulling away the bombs from the Lord, denying the fast clear, allowing them to use the Lord in a more efficient manner.
Well,
I have to say, 4Merical have some good ideas. It's the execution, is it not?
yeah, but
মানে 1 point
actually there was
secure
one
করছে
moment in the highlights that actually caught my eyes. I think that at a moment, Benedetta had all Team 4Merical aligned underneath the ultimate, but if it wasn't for the second skill from Diggy, it was just gonna be
ওরা
a
দুইটা
really
কিল করছে
good, like,
ফরমেরিক্যাল স্পোর্টস আর
clean,
এরা তিনটা এটা ফার্স্ট হইছে আমার দেখা যায়
for that
সেখানে মানে
Benedetta, and
এত লো
it just, like,
কিলের
it didn't
মধ্যে
work
খুব
enough.
সুন্দর করে
I really wanted to see that smooth execution from Smooth.
And look at his emblems, man. He went with the Festival of Blood. He went with the Fighter emblem. It's all about that aggressive style. And it really worked out. 1v1 against a Terizla. Usually you would expect a Benedetta to struggle just a bit, right? Especially when you're dueling. But Smooth doesn't care, man. He just wins out in the clear. He goes around in the jungle. And if you look at how he was rotating, right? The rest of the team are going topside. He'll just farm up the bottom side jungle. So as a secondary effect here, Lunatic Panda also falls back heavily in the gold department. If you look at the gold right here for all these teams and the items, of course, Sasa in this game was completely untouched, man. In the fights, he wasn't threatened. In the laning phase, they weren't able to gank him and get anything meaningful. Everything from the turrets to the lord to the turtle right here, and even the purple buff, they only gave away 2 to Lunatic Panda. And it's not even just Saksa coming in and stealing it. Sometimes Miko and Smooth, they go in and they become a huge problem in their own right.
Well, I would like you to hold on to that, but I would actually want to ask Gideon a question. So, a 3-2 result is actually something that we will see, and like you said that it has its own league, right? So it is normal.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the most normal in the world, considering that we have a lot of other MPLs going on at the same time, but it's definitely towards the highest level of styles. I mean, considering that the amount of gold from Sasa coming out at 754, even though it was an almost 16-minute game, still kind of surprising. It just shows that it's the play style, not being greedy.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, for Lunatic Panda, it just feels like he wasn't able to get anything really meaningful in this game. No real big pins, no real big catches. And if the idea was to use it for the neutral objectives, they really did not get a chance at all, man. We thought that with the double engaged threat, the penalty zone and the heavy spin, maybe 4Merical can get something, can really threaten something from SMG. But it seems like for SMG, they just dealt with it one by one, and they move on to the next thing. Very calm and calculated.
But for Team 4Merical especially, I don't think when we get to see all the damage from the players themselves upon like the other players, not the turret damage, I don't think that there was like so much team fights and like being pushed away. I think they were like playing so passive to a way that they just avoided playing against Team SMG.
I think they were concerned about the early game situation here. And against Faramis and Mathilda, can you really blame them? Right? We said it earlier, the first phase, Mathilda, Faramis, and Guinevere was taken from Team SMG. And that is a lot of super prior heroes that are usually pick or ban. So they have a lot of crowd control, they have a lot of sustain and more mobility as well. So that on top of the carry pick is what makes it so difficult. Because even if they're able to get onto carry, can they even burst him down through the Nether Realm and the Guiding Wind? I don't think so.
Well, I think both of you are making some really good points here. I do agree with Yasu a little bit where they needed, like 4Merical needed to try and bait something out of Team SMG, maybe get an ult, or maybe wait for the spatial migration, and then maybe look for something to occur and focusing down on Stormy in particular. However, on the other side, I think that Team SMG played this great, right? They made 4Merical react to them because of the advantages that they were creating in the lane, like you mentioned, in the earlier stages with the high mobility that they have. But at the end of the day, at some point, you need to be able to break even, and I think that should have happened once Team SMG had a 3.2k gold lead. Maybe 4Merical just needed to go in.
I mean, especially with the EXP lane losing so hard, right? You can see that for Miracle, they're putting their attention elsewhere, but the EXP lane like kind of did its own thing. And so Masar up there, not really having the advantage in mobility or clear against the Benedetta, he just slowly but surely starts falling behind in gold and in presence as well. With the Akai and the Terizla just not having enough items to be tanky, how are they supposed to actually contest ground against SMG, right? They're trying to move in closer into the jungle just to get some information, and even then, they get poked down, they get hit again and again, and they were just forced to move backwards. So without your front line able to get in position, how are the backlines how are they even supposed to try and carry the game, even with their damage?
Well, I think it's time to spice things up, because there is a saying in Arabic that says, when you have nothing to lose, this is the best moment for you to risk it all. And I think for Team 4Merical, they have to risk it all for the next game. So I wouldn't personally like to see them play passive. I wouldn't like to see them playing defensive. Actually, I want to see them playing on the offensive side. I want them to play aggressive. I want to see what can Team 4Merical bring up to the table if they were the ones who was taking the risks.
I'm guessing Mardis or something along the lines like that, you know, something really early game oriented.
Probably, man, something a bit more dominant and a bit more reliable crowd control as well, because you can see that for the most part, 4Merical, especially in the early game, aren't really deterred. They're not really scared to really pick a fight with SMG. But with an Akai, you know, with an Akai and the Diggy, there's not a lot of things they can really do to try and get a catch, you know, get some pickoffs from the side of SMG, so it makes things quite difficult. And I think for sure, you gotta contest or ban some of these heroes, man. At least take away the Mathilda or the Faramis, right? And the Guinevere to a degree, maybe they can pick it up as well.
I actually really agree with you. The Mathilda became a problem. It was like the kind of like the gel that kind of made this team that has a lot of mobility already have an extra layer of depth to it.
Exactly. And if you consider the fact that 4Merical were second pick, right? They were able to get 2 heroes first. They went with the Valentina and Terizla, and that's where the Mathilda and Faramis was just completely let go. So I think they must have learned from their lesson right now. So we'll see. Here is that shout out to Long.
Oh wait, was that?
Happy birthday.
How many A's are there? Happy birthday!
Way too many on this one.
Well, there's a lot of happy birthdays here today, because it is an eventful night, and as I said, when you have nothing to lose and you have everything to win, you have to just do it all. You have to go all in, and that's what I'm asking from Team 4Merical, because after all, what happened?
Sorry, Lung just missed it. He looked back for half a second and was like, what?
All right, focus, bro.
Oh, boy.
It's a big moment for him.
It is a big moment. It is a very big moment. And hopefully, you know, it's going to be something clean for the side of Team SMG. But as you were saying for 4Merical.
Actually, as I told you, Team 4Merical have everything to win at this moment, and they are not in a really good position. They're not even in a good position at all. Because if they lost this match and they lost like 2-0, and yesterday, or like the previous match, they lost also 2-0, it wouldn't, not just like, it wouldn't look good for them. It is the end.
Yeah, they gotta find a solution that works right here. And maybe they have to play around with that early game, late game mindset, right? Like what exactly they want to do. If they want to contest against, for both teams, right? If they want to really contest in the early game, then they get the appropriate tools, right? Wave control, crowd control, burst damage. That's all the tools that are required. If they don't, then play accordingly, right? Get the crowd control, the utility to save your backline carries later on in the game, and even early on from dives, and then just avoid all these turtles, man. Just go for the trades on the other side of the map, and you can still get kind of close in gold difference if you go with that route.
Well, as we get into this drafting phase, we're hoping that 4Merical is going to be maxing out their strength stat in this particular game. And hopefully they'll be taking it away from Team SMG to bring it to a Game 3. We see Joy, we see Valentina instantly banned out for the side of 4Merical. Guinevere, as well as Fanny for the side of Team SMG banned out.
Well, as we have spoken a little bit about 4Merical being in a really bad position, Team SMG are absolutely the counter, because right now Team SMG, if they win this game, this is their ticket to go to the playoffs. So SMG also have everything to win here, to not even be needing to go to the Falcons game later on tonight. So if they win this game, they at least secure a top 2. So they both have their reasons, they both have their own motivations in a way, but which motivation is the strongest?
I think for both, it's going to be pretty strong, man. SMG to represent 4Merical, to pave the way for the next generation. We'll have to see if they can, if they can channel that energy into this game. But without the Mathilda and Faramis banned away, is SMG just planning to trade it? No, they go for
Nolan.
Wow, they pick up the Nolan, but now they can go for the Mathilda. The Mathilda Faramis again, and who is Nolan supposed to target in that situation?
They kept the draft wide open just to take that role. Wasn't worth it, Gideon?
Personally, I agree with Rashi. I don't think it might necessarily be worthwhile unless they've got an advantage when it comes down to the EXP. Because I'm thinking, if they're going Faramis, Matilda, that's like, okay, pretty good for the side of Team SMG. If they add any more dashes, it's a good sign for 4Merical to decide maybe Phobius as an EXP later might be a potential solution.
Actually, I've seen Phobius like making Nolan players suffer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a, it's a strong bit against. But for SMG, they would rather get that Martis. So the Faramis is available if 4Merical wants to try and experiment a bit with that. Like you mentioned though, with a lot of dashes comes the threat of the Phobius. But yeah, I still agree. The problem is you pick an assassin and you're letting go all these stronger heroes. Now it's an assassin up against a strong fighter like the Martis with the backing of the Mathilda, right? We saw that earlier. Even against the Akai, the Mathilda can just 1v1 duel him.
And you can tell that SMG's Mathilda, especially, and if it is with Miko, maybe they'll we'll see something shift on during the draft. But so far, I think Miko will be the one who's playing Matilda, and he has proven himself at the first game. He's pretty good.
He has proved himself, and I think that it feels like a miracle. Yeah, after that first pick, they're prioritizing making sure, yo, Lunatic Panda, you're going to have twice the amount of farm than you had last game because you're on Nolan. But we cannot let this Ixia fall into the hands of Team SMG, especially when they have a Matilda. We've seen what it can do.
Asking the TAA right now, who banned that Ixia last game? Was it 4Merical themselves?
It was SMG actually in the second phase. First ban of the second phase was the Ixia, so this might be a bit of a power pick. And we were talking a lot about the waves, right? The wave control, the laning from both these teams. With an Ixia and a Lilia, that's a lot of wave clear. So there's a lot more ways for 4Merical to be aggressive. The question is, who's going to enable, right? What kind of roamer are they going to pick to enable this Nolan, Ixia, and Lilia to really get their damage out? Especially with the Phobius secured for SMG.
So is it time to have a TAG? A tactical analyst Gideon.
Don't worry, I'll tag in, no problem. Because I think in situations like this, Team SMG really need to consider the fact that, yes, okay, we've got some mega damage, but it's immobile. The only way to be able to close that distance is to take ground. So now we're looking for aggressive type supports. Enchanter style supports are definitely something to keep in mind, but that means that it's going to be squishier. I feel that personally, that if 4Merical is thinking about anything, it's about disengage, but it's also something that's able to peel I'm thinking Lolita could be a possibility. Kufra sounds like a good idea, but it might be counterintuitive.
I think the Angela really comes to mind. I think if SMG don't ban it, it's going to be a real shame if 4Merical doesn't really capitalize. The combo of the Ixia and Angela, I don't know if you guys have gone up against it in ranked, but it does a huge amount of damage, and you also have the hard guard and the extra bit of healing, so it's almost like double sustain for the Ixia. And if you get ahead, you can 1v4 and to some degree 1v5 depending on how ahead you are. But the Esmeralda is what SMG try and deny. This is a signature pick for 4Merical, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot of shields going on at Team SMG, so I think it's a justified ban for me, but I've actually seen on the screen a while ago one of the audience, maybe 2, maybe 3, I don't know how many was there for Team SMG, they were like doing with their hands 2-0, 2-0. So they are pretty confident that Team SMG can bring this home and can take this game to their favor. But going on to the second phase of drafting, or like the second phase of banning and finishing it by focusing the marksman after taking the Ixia. And on the other side, having a little bit both worlds.
Now I'm wondering if SMG are they going to pick the Angela instead. They went with like a double sustain kind of playstyle, but without the Faramis. You know, Faramis on the Ixia, you can kind of shut her down, right? Pop the Netherrealm. But with the Angela, it's a bit more intuitive. But no, they go for the Arlet instead right there. It's going to be in the EXP lane. So a strong EXP laner. We've seen what Smooth can do with that. One will Masarab take to try and counter this.
But TAG, isn't it so much, or like, isn't it disgusting already in terms of shields for Team SMG? Do they need an Angela? Actually, if they put an Angela above this, I think it's pretty disgusting.
I mean, it'd be the hospital meta, you know? We'd be hitting our 911 emergency button. If you're Malaysian, it's 999. But like, I think I agree with you here when we're talking about Angela, right? I think that Team SMG going for the Arlet is actually the smarter play, because it's actually a really good way to punish the Lilia if she walks up too far. And now 4Merical, and I think, you know, Almox has good experience here, locking in the Akai, but also making sure that they are getting some strong laners like Yuzong to really threaten their opponent.
Oh wait, there was a fast pick. There was a fast pick. It's a Beatrix.
There's going to be a Beatrix with that burst damage. It switched hands. It was in the hands of 4Merical earlier, but now for SMG.
I don't saw that Beatrix.
I guess it works out, you know. There's a lot of damage right here that can be shut down by the Arlet and the Martis as well. So for 4Merical, they went back to the Akai right here, but they understand that they had losing lanes earlier that really made it difficult for them to get anything in game number 1.
Well, I have a habit of guessing which team have the better draft. So I'll let you tell me which team do you think won the draft.
I feel like on paper, just, you know, at a glance, SMG I think has the better one.
But I think that also 4Merical are bringing something new.
They are bringing something unique. Really a test of faith, a battle for the top here between Team SMG versus 4Merical. Currently Team SMG at match point.
They are now at match point. They can take this 2-0 and fully sweep Team 4Merical. We already came from a sweep, so we might just see another raid.
It'll be a big turn, man. We saw a lot of 2-1s yesterday. But today it's a lot of 2-0s instead, potentially. Well, for the Phobias, by the way, looking at Basil's battle spells, he does go for the flame shot. He used it already, very early on. It's a Phobias mid, by the way. Smooth is the one being in the EXP lane.
And Akai roam. Actually, while looking at Team 4Merical, I didn't look so much towards who is roaming, but and Akai room, have we seen that work quite much? I haven't like actually seen Akai play at home. That I already forgot that he is a tank. I got used to see him as a jungle.
Back in Indonesia, the term we use for a roam Akai is a vlogger Akai. Because until level 4, all you do is a vlogger Akai.
What is a vlogger Akai?
Because all you do is just follow around and like, you can't really do a lot until you have a heavy spin. So you're just moving around. Hey guys, look at the land of dawn. This is
I'm spinning.
And that's it.
Already
he has to wait for the level 4 first. That's the main problem.
Now
the Panda though.
Oh, the flicker coming up with Smooth, forcing Lunatic Panda to get on Pop his ult to get the heck out of there. And Miko just consistently denying his recall. Dude! Let the man play the game, Miko! Miko, come on!
Getting under his skin. He already got under his skin. Game 1 wasn't enough. Miko wants to last for a long time in the memory of Lunatic Panda.
But for Akai, back to that point, man. Now it's a bit better after some changes to his kit, but it's still gonna be a long time before he gets any real impact. Look at the
First blood Martis নিয়েছে মার্টিসের আলোতে যে পরিমাণ ড্যামেজ সে হচ্ছে যে ফার্স্ট ব্লাড না নিয়ে যাবে টাটালে চলে আসছে EXP লেনার সেখানে পেন খাওয়া লাগতে পারে এই গেছে আমাদের
Fights everywhere. Fights are happening all the time, and Saksa making sure that he at least secures this turtle.
Well, they are flying up there.
Yep, Demonic Force once again. Once more. With the help of Miko, gets right back out. Miko secures the kill.
Miko enough. Leave Lunatic Panda be.
They're smooth on their team, but Miko is an absolute smooth criminal right here. Getting his friends out, getting his friends in as well. Team SMG, they can really take over. And for 4Merical, they're just a loss. What can they do? Even Masara falling behind here.
Yeah, I mean, they're just bleeding it all over the place, right? It's not like the laners are doing a bad job. It's what the jungle, provided with the help of a support, can really provide to your team when they are faster. And look at that. All that turret plating going over to the right people. Miko, get on out there. No circling eagle for the time being.
Well, I don't know how much patience does it take to deal with someone like Miko, to be honest, because this guy has taken it so far. He's so irritating, annoying. You can call it whatever you want, but you cannot call his performance forgettable. It is unforgettable. Miko is just living his life. His best life. Maybe he is the vlogger for Team SMG.
Yeah, Club was the vlogger, and look at him now, just waiting around. He has a heavy spin.
Watching.
Can he get something though? He's way too low. Lunatic Panda secures the purple buff still, but this is the benefit, right? Now the Akai. Oh my lord! Wait, the circling eagle. Okay. He goes out. Miko thought that he could close the distance by using one of 4Merical Esports' members to get on top of clock and maybe get a flicker out of him. But now, 60 seconds until the turtle. We saw this adjustment before. When the Akai is a jungler, he gets harassed too much. Now the Akai is a roamer, so he can really play around with his combination, letting Lunatic Panda have more space. But so far, everyone else is still falling behind in the lane, despite the strong picks they're going for. Here comes Smooth once again, using his marks to get free resets with his vengeance, but still being annoying. Stormy has to be a little careful here. He can't walk up too far. So the rest of the team comes on in. Miko with circling eagle on top of clock side and gets on top of Masaraf. At the same time, they're trying to zolt them away. They lock it down perfectly. Set up here by Masaraf is petrified. Black Dragon to get his way out there, but Stormy able to secure the kill onto clock with the demonic force.
Lunatic Panda just tries to. Is he gonna be able to go back?
Manages to flicker away, but it doesn't matter. Smooth, making sure that vengeance is paid due.
Team SMG, or actually Miko, behind the scenes is just controlling and playing mind games with Team 4Merical. Team 4Merical are having the same exact beginning. A passive beginning, a bad one.
And can now Saksa go for this. He does get the purple, getting away. Miko though, whoa, buddy, let's count. He's insane.
I have some peace. There is no peace. Team SMG, this is the most aggressive we've seen them comparatively to game number 1. But now Miko, the guy. What is going on? Hey, time reversal. Let's just pretend that was time reversal.
No one saw anything.
It's not like his cooldown is flicker is down or anything. Nothing crazy. Yeah, we don't look at the flickers, right? That's not important. For Miko though, because he does have all these mobility tools, and look at him, man. He is fearless, literally. He doesn't fear any chance of 4Merical making a play to really punish him. And who can blame him? Right now, nothing has happened just yet. And this mid lane Phobius is a huge problem. You doubt it, but back in its heyday, it's big. Now it's still massive with all the dashes available to use. It's just gonna easily retribute it away. This is so annoying. He's halfway through the river. Miko quickly grab delivers him to where he needs to be,
Yeah.
and now they combine
Yes.
together to
Yes,
take
yes.
out
Yes,
Masura
yes.
immediately after the Furious dive.
How
One five
much
situation golden
cold-blooded
দেখে
should
আমরা
you
তাহলে
be
কিন্তু
to be like
already
that, Miko?
3K
Miko have
এর মতো
absolute
3 to
no
4K এর মতো গোল
mercy.
দেয়
He's playing
almost
as if
4K
he
গোল
was
লাগায়
on
আছে
the blue side. He's
টাটা
living
চলে আসছে
inside their jungle, literally living inside their jungle.
Don't forget about Saksa though, because he's also very active right here.
এ
He's
হচ্ছে
2
যে
levels
আলো
ahead of Luna the
এখানে
Panda,
আসে
despite the no one
একটা
fast
ধরবে
clear.
আর
Because of
এদিক দিয়ে
Miko,
হচ্ছে
right?
ওবিএস
Look at where he is right
আর
now.
মাথিলদা
He's not even like
Yeah.
Luna the Panda is not even close to
ওবিএস
his
আর
buff,
মাথিলদা
and
এদিকে
Miko is
বলতে
already
বলতে
there.
অলরেডি
Like, what's
সুন্দর
up?
করে তাতে
We're
নিয়েও
ready.
নিছে
And just like that, Saksa comes in. The buff gets denied once again. SMG, absolutely relentless.
Yeah, it seems like he owns that map, man. He just like, he is
নয়
everywhere.
মিনিটে
He is
চলে
doing
যাবে একটু
whatever he
পরে
wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. Miko is just a master at work.
Ooh, right there. Another circling eagle. Immediate cancel just to scare 4Merical Esports. And this is the problem when your
Midlaner tower
roamer
destroy
has been
করেছে
just way too active. With Miko just threatening the circling
টপ লেন
eagle
দিয়ে
and
অলরেডি হচ্ছে
going
যে
in
তাদের
aggressively again and again.
ফার্স্ট টাওয়ার
Now
টিম
when
ছিল
it's a bit of a
ফার্স্ট
bait
টাওয়ার
circling
ডিস্ট্রয় করে
eagle,
দিছে
4Merical can't
সেকেন্ড
tell the
টাওয়ার
difference.
ডিস্ট্রয় করে
Right?
লর্ড
They're just
আসবে
forced
হচ্ছে
to
যে আর
react
2 মিনিট
immediately
পরে
as if it's gonna happen.
লর্ড
And
নিয়ে
that's
যদি
throwing them
হচ্ছে যে
off.
তারা ফোকাস করে
SMG, man, especially the
তাহলে
Miko Saksa
ইনহিবিটেড টাওয়ার
combination,
পর্যন্ত
they're
যাইতে
playing like
পারবে
4Merical owes them money.
Actually, this guy literally just woke up and chose violence.
বেট্রিক্স আর মাথিলদা যেভাবে হচ্ছে যে বসে আছে
I feel like
সুযোগ
in this
খুঁজতেছে
case,
যে কোন
it
সময়
feels like
ধরবে
they
কোন
owe
সময় ধরে
Miko
হচ্ছে যে
money. He's like, hey man, all those grabs that you've been asking me to pay for you, I want that gold back.
He just walks up to the jungle. Yo, where it's at? Where the money at?
গোল্ডের দিকে যদি দেখি তাহলে কিন্তু
Where is
অলরেডি
my
আমি
money?
বলবো যে
And the thing is,
800
for Merical
900
Esports
গোল্ডের
can't shoot
মধ্যে
him away. They picked
almost
they
1K
picked up this
gold এ আগে
Lilia
আছে
to really
Beatrix।
try and get
AR
dominance in the
থেকে,
mid
CR
lane.
থেকে,
But this
সুন্দর ছিল
Phobius is
এটা।
absolutely outperforming it. Now he's one level behind. I don't know if he even has the core items just yet. In a long fight, the Lilia can still be a big problem. But they can't be this far behind if they really want to try and
Focus
have a
করে দিছে।
chance.
Yeah, actually, speaking of chances,
Bottom lane,
there's
second
no
tower
chance
destroyed।
whatsoever for
Team
Team
fight হলে
4Merical
সেখানে
to
হাইরা আসা লাগবে।
breathe. They cannot breathe. They
ও
are suffocating, and the
টিম
one
SMGs
who
না
is
এরা হচ্ছে
like
যে কোনো
he's
মানে
the one who's causing all
একটুখানিও
that is
চিন্তা
Miko.
ভাবনা
I'm just
অথবা
gonna shout out
কোনো
to this
ভয়ে
guy.
বলে না যে
He
এইভাবে
is
হচ্ছে গোল
controlling
দিতে
everything.
যাচ্ছে
Like if he was the maestro, if I
আর
was to
দেখতে
choose
দেখতে
a
লর্ড চলে
maestro,
আসছে
I would definitely choose Miko because he's holding the strings. He's playing on every string.
There it
He's
is,
being annoying once
circling eagle.
again, getting a good soul bloom onto Lunatic's Panda and chunking him out for like a good chunk of his health. He's down to 54% HP. And I don't know how he's going to try and contest this, but Team SMG, they're purposely resetting this Lord so that the rest of Team SMG can actually cover the map.
They don't want the Lord, they want the fight. They want to fight.
You can be tactical with the Lord take, man. Now look at what the positioning is. They're just so impudent right now. They have 3 members on the Lord, and their main, what is supposed to be their main damage source is on the other side. It doesn't even matter, dude. There's just no opposition coming in from 4Merical Esports. Saksa's gonna get this Lord for free.
He should get that Lord for free. He deserves it.
All
He
this
deserves
damage.
it.
The rest is like Lieutenant Panda. But the damage, though, this is why you're reminded that Mathilda used to be a mid laner, right?
Yeah.
Of course, there are changes now, but that damage, especially 1v1, is still nothing to ignore, dude. That is insane.
Well, I wonder, will we see...
তিনটা টোটাল ছিল yeah Lord
a
একটা
really...
সবই
And Team
নিছে
SMG will have the perfect setup as always. Minions are aligned. Everything is looking really good, and Team SMG just might take the game in a really short time.
Speaking of which, the final slash from Smooth has already been used. Same goes for the Star Helix. Sharezu being propped by Masara, but Smooth feels nothing. The shield's coming out from Miko, enough to sustain him for now. As he starts bringing the Black Dragon form to zone them away from the inhibitor turrets. This high ground defense looking pretty good for 4Merical as long as no inhibitors end up falling. Team SMG.
Keep minions coming.
They're not pulling the trigger just yet. This might be an opportunity. With no minion. Oh, wait, locked down to Smooth. And now the full barrage. Smooth locked down. Tap too much. Doesn't get sent by Miko. And that's one. That's 2 for 2. Trade.
double kill
It's still absolutely worth
কিন্তু
it for
এরপরেও
Merical
হচ্ছে যে
Esports though, and Sasa now in a
মোটামুটি
duel
ভালোই
against
ডিফেন্স
Zeros.
দিছে
Trying
ব্ল্যাক
to
শু
clear the
দিয়ে
wave, save the
আবার
turret, but
কুইকটা দিয়ে
SMG they
দিছে
want it bad, but are having
স্টিল
made a mistake
এখানে
though.
হচ্ছে যে ডিফেন্স করে অনেক প্যারা খাওয়া যাবে শেষ
Beer's passion already used, and now Sasa flickers. He sees the flickers, he smells blood. Doesn't secure the kills, but this is more than
আনএক্সপেক্টেড ছিল
enough. Team
সেখানে
SMG
অলমোস্ট
still maintain
এইচপি লো
their
হয়ে গেছিল
6.2k
দেখছেন
lead.
At this point,
ভাবছি
they
যে
seem
মেবি
like
একটুখানি
sharks.
মরেই
Once
যাবে
they
বাট
smell
না
blood in the sea, once they smell blood in the water, they just go for it. They just go hunt it down. Team SMG are
এরাও
more
যথেষ্ট
aggressive
ভালো
than
ডিফেন্স দিয়ে
they have
যেতেছে
been at the first game. 100%.
They just dove into the turret,
নোলানটা
man.
পিক
I mean,
করছে
they did
কিন্তু
trade 2 for 2 though. So in the grand scheme of things,
ওবিএসটা
it's
নিয়ে
worth it
মারা
for
দিয়ে
Merical
দিছে
Esports
একেবারে
because they didn't lose the top turret either. Team SMG is a bit overzealous, wanting to try and extend their dominance here.
যেইভাবে
I
ফাইট
think
দিয়ে
they also
গেছে
realized that
আবার
they were
হচ্ছে যে লর্ড
performance when
চলে
they
আসবো
were
এক
just
মিনিটের
not
মধ্যে আবার
aggressive enough. And I think it
এই
might have been
ম্যাচের
drilled
মধ্যে
into them
কোনো
by their
টার্টেলের
coach,
ধারে
like,
কাছেও
yo,
আসতে দিতেছে
if you
না
have the advantage, push it and don't let your opponents breathe. But now without managing the waves, they might just lose a bottom turret for free there.
Yeah, and allow me to use it again. Team Miracle at
আর
this
মিকুরে
exact
আমার
moment
দেখা
do
মনে হয় যে
need the
এর কোনো
Miracle to
বয়
make
ওই
this work
সার্কলিং
out.
ইগল দিয়ে
Here
দিছে
comes Circling Eagle once again, hoping
হ্যাঁ
to
আসলে
beat something out.
ভয়টা
Most that they cut.
এই
Wow,
জাস্ট
that was
আসে
a
আইসা
shot.
মানে
Most they got
একা
was
একা
Black Shoes
ঘুরতেছে
chunking out
চারজনের
Lunatic
মধ্যে আইসা
Panda.
পড়ছে তারও একা
By the
একা
way, in the
ঘুরতেছে
previous fight, Smooth was the main target, but with the way the vengeance works, right?
20
How he can
সেকেন্ডের
actually
মধ্যে
get
লর্ড
through
চলে
crowd
আসবে
control until the animation ends. He
এই
got
ম্যাচের
behind
মধ্যে
clock.
এইখানে এইভাবেও
Leveling was
গেছে
almost a good,
আর
a
নোলানের
good
যে
play.
প্যারা
He was
খাইতেছে
on the
নোলান
route to be pushed
সামনে
into the
দাঁড়ানোরও
turret,
চান্স
into
নেই
the base of
আর ওইখানে
4Merical,
হচ্ছে যে
but
কি
he
বলে
vengeance past clock and he was pinned on the
মার্কসম্যান
other
আর
side
ট্যাঙ্ক
of the wall
যদি নাও
instead,
থাকে
which
তবুও
allows
সেখানে
Team
আলোট
SMG
আছে
to
এর স্টান
strike back.
খাইয়াই
But now they've seen that 4Merical, they're putting up a fight and they are just scheming, right? Waiting for
Yeah.
the right moment to really get a value play. But with Nico on the watch, they have to try and maybe bait something out first.
And it makes him live
Oh.
up to his name, Smooth, after all.
এই রে
They know that they don't
মাইরা
have Circling
দিছিল
Eagle
পুরো
no more, but this 4Merical
ধরে
kind of want to
ফেলছিল
walk up here.
ওইদিকে
Success level
আসছে
15,
কিন্তু
but
নোলান এখনো
Nico, the
সামনে আসার
jungler, and
চান্সেস নাই
Stormy are making it difficult. He's in the mid lane right now. Lunatic Panda, he's 2 levels
ওরা
down,
যে
and he's trying to
ভাই
figure out a way in,
জোন
but
আউট
Smooth
করে
is just
দিতেছে কোনো
not letting
চান্সেস
him
তো দিতেছে না সামনে আসার
just body blocking him, literally
Just নিয়ে
man-to-man
নেবে
defense.
You can tell
শেষ
that Lunatic Panda was not trying to go for the
এটা
steal
নিয়ে
anyways.
ইনহেবিটর
He was
টাওয়ারের মধ্যে
expending
দুইটা
the
বাড়ি
bulk of
মারলে
his
ইনহেবিটর টাওয়ার
stacks, right?
একটা বাড়ি
To
মারলে
really clear the
ইনহেবিটর
wave
টাওয়ার
and
শেষ
farm up the jungle. Just trying to get it out of the way before Team SMG come barreling in
লর্ডকে
with
অলওয়েজ
the
টপ
Lord.
দিয়ে আসে
Looking at the items here, Clock of Destiny still for Stormy, but the Ice Queen's won. That is the danger, man. He lands one demonic force,
ওরে
and just like that, you are slowed in. You get hit with
তাহলে
everything else,
ভুলে
the
যাওয়া
eye as well,
লাগবে
pulling you back. And with the flame shot, by the way, for those of you
শেষ
just
ওই
who
যে
are not aware, if he pushes you
আইতেছে
back with the flame shot, he can hit you with
পুরা
the demonic force again.
মাইকটা খাবে
So that is
এখন
an extra
ওইখানে
one
আসার
drop
আগে ওই দিক দিয়ে
technically,
ডিফেন্স
which is
করতে
why a
গেলে
lot of
আবার মিড লেন
Phobias
আর বটম লেন দিয়ে
always
এসে
brings
ঢুকে
it
পড়বে
into brings that battle spell as well.
চাঙ্গু পাঙ্গু
Yeah,
নিয়ে
and I would tell you for sure that there was something also that we didn't like mention. There is a lot of miscommunication happening from the side of Team Miracle because they divided into two. Some of them wants to go for
ওই
that
যে
Lord
মিনিয়ন
Seal, some of
লর্ড
them
আসার
wants to go
লর্ড
for the
এসে বাড়ি
Fireball.
মারা
Let's
লাগবে
see
না
if
লর্ডের
this
আগে
will
এসে
be the end.
মিনিয়ন
As they
সুন্দর
start
করে
pushing
খেয়ে
in,
দিচ্ছে
one inhibitor has fallen, and 4Merical are just trying to hold on to whatever they have left in this game. 8.60, oh man, even Saxon's aura even is still pretty deadly. And Stormy not making it easy for 4Merical to find that opening.
এটার শেষ
Loops around, they lose another
শেষ
inhibitor.
এটা ধরছে শেষ
The full barrage being imminent. Saxon's able to tactically roll out of there just in time.
আগে
And not
আলটিমেট
even
দিয়ে
the Black
ধরতে
Dragon
পারছিল
form
কিন্তু এরা
able
হচ্ছে
to catch
চারজনের
up
মাঝে
and
কি
close
আর
that
করবে
distance. No petrify combinations, nothing. 2 inhibitors and no kills to show for it.
I was gonna say that their wave management isn't ideal, but now we're having one more wave.
এরাই হচ্ছে কিন্তু টিম যাইতে একটুখানি লেট করে দিচ্ছে আর এই রে ব্ল্যাক শুজ দিয়ে চারজনের মাঝখানে দেওয়া পড়া লাগছে
He's got nothing left, no fail-safe to actually protect him as the next wave collapses. They will be able
ওই
to
যে
get
আরেকজন গেছে গা এই আলোর এত পেইন হয় যখন তার আলটিমেট দিয়ে দিয়ে
Speaking of smooth, he's just so smooth, man, in executing everything he wanted. Final slashes, normal slashes, whatever slash you want him to do. He's just so smooth at every execution he has. But so far, Team SMG have done the same thing, focusing on objectives, just a little bit more aggressive, and I think quite more aggressive than usual.
Yep, here we go. Demonic Force.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god!
god!
Our
Another
ultimate
final
here.
platform to set Stormy up for
GG
success. The
killing
full barrage is
spree.
there, but Stormy and Smooth look him in the eye and say, no more. Team SMG take this next game. They've got no minions, but the inevitable
Mega kill.
has come. Maserapi will try his best. He's trying to clear these waves, but Smooth says no. Once again, GG. Well
All the best.
Team
Good game, literally.
SMG with that final
Yeah.
slash. That was the only thing they needed. That was the only thing they needed to pull off to make it a clean sweep. And he does actually sweeps his enemy.
You see the audience just overjoyed, man, saying it's an
unexpected.
easy 2v.
Easy.
Easy 2-0.
Wow.
Dude.
আর
Can't
বাকি
even
দুইটা
argue with that
ফার্স্টটা
statement,
মেবি
though.
এরাই
They made
জিতছে
it
টিম
look
এসএমজি
simple.
4Merical tried everything they could there, but every single thing they threw at SMG got like rebounded back to them even harder.
Yep, they weren't able to find those angles. They weren't able to find the plays. A lot of this was just a game of positioning. How do you position yourself against your opponents? And now they're going to go with the fist bumps here.
যথেষ্ট ভালো খেলছে
Wow, this has been so brutal for 4Merical.
And to get in touch with the players themselves, let's go to stage and hear some words.
দুইটার সময়
Congratulations, SMG. Let's give him a round of applause.
আচ্ছা
Well
কিন্তু
done.
4
You guys haven't lost yet. Okay, give me an inside scoop. Can we just show the camera?
আজকে দুইটা
Miko,
ম্যাচ
why? What is this? Okay.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে
You have something written on your hand. Actually, we've been
এরা
meaning to
কিছু
ask you that
করতে
earlier. We
পারলেই-
saw it. It says
Four
ERDFIH/EX
মার্সি
M5, and it says
Esports.
Pogi. Is that what I think it is? Pogi means handsome in Tagalog. Can
ভালো
you give
খেলছে
us
দুইটা
an
টিমে
inside
এরা 4
scoop on
মার্সেল
what
যথেষ্ট
that
সুন্দর
is?
ডিফেন্সও দিয়ে গেছে
ER early rotation.
PF
Don't force.
নভেম্বর 24 আর 4 মার্সেলের একটা
Inhale, exhale.
তারপরটা হচ্ছে যে ইন্টারভিউ স্পোর্টসের
Those things sound pretty simple, but why do you write that on your hand?
So if the match,
SMG
so
চারটা ম্যাচ হবে ঠিক আছে দেখা
pag sobrang hirap na ng match, babasahin lang namin para ma-chill kami. Lahat po kami meron.
Oh, all of you guys have it. All of you guys have it. So what is it when
You cannot think in the game,
Yellow?
just see your hand.
when the match gets so intense, you take a look at your hand for a reminder. Whose idea was this?
Ma'am Rebecca, our psychologist, doctor.
Oh, you guys have a psychologist. That is amazing. I think that's something that's not every team has a psychologist. And how is this sports psychologist? How has it helped you guys out in your tournaments? Like this one, it's a really important international tournament. Yes, sure.
Laking tulong niya po kasi nare-reset niya kami in-game and lalo na kapag nag-i-struggle kami sa scrims.
So it's a big help because your psychologist is able to help you reset in-game, especially when you're struggling. And it's also a good way to keep your mind in check, even during the times that when you guys have lost. So what a great start for SMG. Great job to the management. It's something that all teams can definitely learn from to make sure that you're in the proper mindset. Now, we have a birthday today. Long? Long, Coach Long.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Okay, everybody.
That's a long
Can we
18
just
game.
all sing him a quick happy birthday?
Or coach?
Everybody all together now.
Whoa.
1, 2, 3. Happy
Pichi coach.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Coach Long.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
আচ্ছা
I know for sure
everyone
that one of your
আজকের
wish is
জন্য
to make it
এখনকার
to
জন্য
M5
এতটুকুই
and possibly
আবার
win the
হচ্ছে যে
entire
আমরা
thing.
দুইটা বাজে
But
আমাদের
other than that,
সবার লাইক
what is your
হাউ দ্য
personal
ফেভারিট
wish?
টিম 4Merical এর ম্যাচ নিয়ে
What is
চলে
your
আসবো
wish other than
till then
winning?
stay safe
He can't go to M5.
Other than the ticket.
Wait for us.
Other
Bye.
than the ticket to go to M5, what is it? You never know. There's a lot of people here, a lot of people watching.
Yeah.
It might just be granted. What is it that you've been longing for in your life that you wish to be granted to you?
এটা